preview of the preview, because the show is not really going to be a show today. It's going to be a preview of the rest of the day. Because, for those that are watching, you see what that is? Where's our camera? Where's the camera for us? Oh, it is. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So this is in a little clear cup. This is the coffee cup. So I'll try to behave. But you know how that goes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the In Wheel Time program. Glad that you could join us. We're going to be on the air here officially in about 5 minutes, but this is a kind of a preview of the preview. So if you're joining us at home this morning or wherever it is that you are, in your car even, thank you for pulling in. Oh, look at is that a Chevy 2? That's a Chevy 2. What is that, a 62? That is very nice. So, Jeff, are you able to show that little red Chevy 2 on some sort of camera? No? Oh.
It did drive by, but we didn't switch cameras.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, at any rate, welcome, because we are at the Lupe Tortilla Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In. We missed last month because the weather was bad, but from what I understand, there were a lot of participants that were actually here, even though the show was canceled, so they came anyway. Unfortunately, we did not. Kind of glad we didn't because the weather really sucked, but whatever the case. Certainly not the case today. Beautiful, clear blue skies. It's a little bit on the chilly side, but oh my goodness, it is magnificent.
It is.
And it is
nice.
going to be really nice a little bit later on this morning. The show actually and officially gets underway at 8 o'clock. The cruise-in does, and will last until 11 o'clock this morning. So if you're out and about, whether you've got a cruiser, a classic, a resto mod, whatever it is, an antique, whatever you've got, come on by. And if you don't, if you're just in the family car, we invite you to stop by and be a spectator, because it's beautiful. All of these cars drove in this morning. Nothing's trailered. And it's really a fun show, because it never fails that there's always a different crowd every time there's a Tailpipes and Tacos cruise-in.
And they all bring different cars with them.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
of course, there's some owners that have multiple cars.
like you.
I don't have multiple cars.
Sure, your neighbors think you do. You have all these different cars every
Well,
week.
that's a different story altogether. That has everything to do with the fact that
you are part of the media elite.
please, there's elite and media does not go together
And
at all.
there's-
Here, cheers,
Cheers.
cheers. Mars, cheers,
Cheers.
cheers, cheers, everybody.
Beautiful day.
Is that the specimen cup that you've got there? Jeffrey Zekin over here. He'll be participating in the show when he gets his microphone on, but whatever. He's also switching the video. So we don't, those two cameras out there don't.
Yeah, they're
Oh, okay. Well, once the sun gets on
Catching
all the
cars
cars, you'll
coming
be
in.
able to see everything. I'm really glad that I have mufflers on my car.
yeah, I know. At least somebody
There was
does.
a time that I didn't, and I
Yeah,
thought that was
You had
really
cherry
cool.
bombs or thrush.
No, I had nothing. There was nothing. It was straight out of the manifold.
On the Corvair?
No, it wasn't the Corvair. I don't. Was it the Corvette when I was taking it to the muffler shop?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it reminded me of how much I really appreciate mufflers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I love the guys with the trucks these days that have very, very loud exhausts, and it's going down the freeway or the roadway at like 60 miles an hour, and there's this I can
You
only
hear 'em coming.
I can only imagine what it sounds like inside the car. You know, I mean,
between the engine noise and the growl of the big lug tires on it,
yeah.
as you hear them whir on the way
And
by.
I just can't imagine. I mean, it'd be fine for a little while, but after a while, on my way to Mobile, Alabama, or wherever it is, I'm thinking, this is
It'd
driving
wear
me
out,
insane.
Yeah, wear you out.
Yeah. So, at any rate, I
So
guess I'm old
you
now.
You mentioned Mobile. Are you going to go?
I am going to go. Gina Shiles Knowles doesn't know it yet, but I am going to go to the first race. I've decided. I have some vacation time that I need to get in before the 1st of July.
Mm-hmm.
And so and I'm going to take a week's vacation. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but one of the days off, I am going to go to the first race over in Mobile.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to
take the vet.
I'm going to take the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That means that you guys are going to have to either do this by yourself or you're going to have to find another host.
Okay, we can handle it.
I know you can.
Hosts are easy to find.
Yes, they are.
Jeff Heitzman says bump it up a little bit.
Bump it up.
Bump
it
the
up,
volume.
baby. All right. Well, we're gonna make a little pause here because it's time for us to go on the air. Are you ready, Mars? No, he's not ready. He's never ready. All right.
Always
Is
ready.
everybody else ready? Well, guess what? We're going to go on the air whether you like it or not right now.
Can I finish my taco?
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Today coming to you from the monthly Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In here at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, Texas. Coming up, we talk to some of the cruisers and the participants at this month's extravaganza. Jeff's going to review our pre-owned car of the week, the 2017 Maserati Levante L. You know, every time I say the word Levante, I think of lavatory. But anyway, a look at some upcoming racing events, plus Conrad's Car Clinic and the stories making auto news headlines this week. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, March 20th, 2021. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us today. I forgot to mention David Ainsley.
We gotta get that straight.
Yes, our chief engineer is here. And can you
what's
see
his
him
name?
in the wide shot?
Yeah, well, he's kind of.
No, kind of. You have to. There you go. We could see your hand anyway. But and Jeffrey's over there on that side of the fence too. So it's good to see you. Thank you all for coming. As I mentioned in our pre-show warm-up, it is a magnificent day here in Houston, Texas. Actually, in
Clear
physically,
blue skies,
we are
bright
in the
sun.
Katy, Texas area, which is on the west side of Houston, and we're in the Lupe Tortilla, on the Lupe Tortilla porch, if you will, and all of the participants of the cruise in still coming in. This is a 3-hour event, and it's a kind of come and go as you want car show. And there's everything here from
Chevy 5 window,
let's see,
pickup truck.
I see some 40 cars in here, 40s cars, some 50s, some 60s, and then there's some actual
70s.
late models in here as well. And I don't know whether I should even mention this or not, but the In Wheel Time service vehicle is here.
Service vehicle.
Chase vehicle. Chase vehicle.
The chase
vehicle,
vehicle.
that's right.
Chase,
I don't know what you're chasing.
Well,
That would be you, Mars.
Chase
Did
it a good
you
time.
wash
it's
it this
got a
time?
Hemi, so I'm going to find it, whatever it is.
Did you
I actually
wash
did
it?
wash it, and I only got rained on once coming over here after I washed it.
It can't. You couldn't have. There's no rain.
It
There's
rained
no
on you
rain.
coming over
Well,
was
whether
dew.
you want to call it dew or fog or
Dew.
something got the truck
Some
wet.
dew. We'll call it dew.
Do.
Yeah,
Dew.
some dew did
So
it.
at any rate, it's good to have everybody along with us today. We've got an exciting show, and what we do is on these things is that we, whether they like it or not, we pull the people that bring the cars and we talk about their cars.
and sit them down, and I think sometimes scare the daylights out of them
And
because they have
interrogate
no idea what to expect of us asking them.
That's right, because we'll probably ask you some questions that you don't know the answers to. Then again, you may.
We got a rubber hose behind it.
We do have a rubber hose behind you, so you could take it out and beat us with that. But at any rate, who am I talking to? What is your name, sir?
Speaking of 1940s
Who are we
cars,
talking?
this is Rick Paras.
Paras.
What he said.
Rick Pottas.
Correct.
Rick, it's good to see you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So, is that your beige beauty out there?
1940 DeSoto S7.
Oh my God, a 40 DeSoto. I want you to know that my parents' first
I
car.
was conceived in a 40 DeSoto.
I might have been. I might have been.
That's what it is.
Because my parents, the first car that they bought in Waukesha, Wisconsin, was a DeSoto.
Wow. Nice.
And the only issue with the car was the starter. It had a starter issue, and my dad taught my mother how to start it with the broomstick and the hammer.
Oh,
That so whenever it wouldn't start, she'd get out there, open the hood, take the broomstick, push
Put it
it
on the
down
starter.
the starter, and give it a whack, and boy, away she'd go.
There we went.
You don't have that problem, do you?
I do not have that problem.
So tell us about your car.
So I've had the car for about 6 years now. I bought it from a gentleman up in Northern California before I moved back to Texas. He'd had it for about 3.5 years. It's got 86,000 original miles.
Oh, my
wow.
God.
How wonderful is that?
Wow.
So I've actually put about 1,000 of those over the last 6 years. So I usually just take it out once a week on Saturdays. But
Take it out to a cruise
A
somewhere.
day like
Exactly.
today when there's no clouds in the sky.
beautiful day, absolutely.
So,
And
if I'm not mistaken, a DeSoto is part or was part of the Chrysler family.
that's correct.
Yeah. And what did DeSoto become after DeSoto? Or did it?
So it did not. I think it went through the early 60s, from the late 20s, early 30s, and then they stopped the production of it.
Gotcha.
So they're very rare, and you don't see a lot of these around. This is really nice because it's a sedan, so it has a suicide doors. It's got an inline six. I actually met the gentleman that owned it for 37 years.
Oh, wow.
So almost half of its life. He's from New Jersey. And he had it when he was in college and was getting ready to get married right after college and blew the engine on it. And his father, as a wedding gift, fixed the engine and had the hardened seat valves installed on it. So obviously it does really go
Okay,
on
so it
under the
works.
gas.
It's okay on today's fuel.
Correct.
Yeah. Wow. Well, what a story. How
Now
is the undercarriage? If it came from
California.
Well, it came from California, but he was from New Jersey.
New Jersey originally.
So how's the rust?
It's very much intact. It has absolutely no rust.
Wow.
So the only thing I did to it when I got it 6 years ago, it had the original mohair interior, which was very raggedy. We had all that removed. We had all the interior stripped. There was no rust holes, no rust spots. So now it's sprayed, it's insulated, and all the upholstery inside is new. So
That is so cool.
It's a joy to drive.
I bet you've got people every time you take it out come up to you and ask you, "What is that?"
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's got to make you feel good.
It does. It does.
Yeah, because I mean, to have a car that is one rare,
Right.
and number two, vintage, old school,
Correct.
And correct. You know, it's not a modified car. It's
It
not
is
something that's got big fat tires on it and stuff.
or lowered or
It's-
something like
it's
that.
era correct.
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
3-speed on the column.
3-speed on the column.
Yeah.
So-
How's the clutch work in it? Good.
It actually
Is
works very
is it
smoothly.
smooth?
It is very
Yeah.
smooth. It's very smooth.
Because those cars back in the day, that's what it was all about.
Sure.
The smoothness of that shifter,
Yep.
and that clutch was easy to use.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't like to do more than 55.
That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's not. I guess. Well, you could take it on the highway. It wouldn't.
can.
Around here, you could. You could run 55 easily around here.
Sure.
Just don't get out on Interstate 10 or the Raceway 45. But around town, you could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously garaged.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. Any plans for it in the near future? I'm going to rebuild the carburetor, put a new rear end in it,
Yeah.
anything like that?
No, so I just have to have the engine be refreshed.
Gotcha. Are you going to do that yourself or find somebody?
No, I wish. I'm not mechanically inclined.
No?
I'll find somebody to do it.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Correct.
I mean,
Everybody's got their limits. They know what they can do, what they can't
and listen,
do.
and my limits become more and more refined the older that I get. There's a lot of limits now.
So that generation of a car actually requires somebody to keep it in tune. You know, there's always a little tweak to the carburetor, to the ignition system. Do you have somebody here in town that keeps it in tune for you?
I do. I do.
Who's that?
That guy's over at Classic Car Care.
Really?
Yeah, Robert.
Well, that's quite talented folks.
Yes.
Because the era of going to a normal shop that understand carburetors and points and condensers is drastically shrinking.
I agree.
So how big is this 6-cylinder? Do you know how many cubic inches it is?
216?
Okay. Well, it's significant enough, and
Yeah.
6-cylinders have always got lots of torque in them anyhow.
100 horsepower.
Kind of gets the car. Is it 100 horsepower?
Well, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's enough for the car.
Well, back in the day, that was
Particularly in
probably pretty
1940,
significant.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then for it to be a 40, which would have been kind of the last year of full production before World War II, because a 40, anything 42 is very, very limited production because they all switched over to war production in 41 or in 42.
Right. You made reference to the starter. This one has the push button on the floorboard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I am familiar with that because I had a 1954 Chevrolet 3/4 ton pickup truck with a 4-speed, a granny first gear. Okay, it was a utility truck. It was given to me. It had spent all of its life up in Wisconsin. 235 Blue Flame 6 with a single barrel carburetor on it, but it had a button on the floor that was direct to the starter.
Sure.
Yeah.
Talk about confusing a millennial.
Yes,
You
correct.
know, first off, it's confusing to get it started because what's that button for?
Right.
And then real confusing to how to get it going because they don't understand how to drive a clutch and would never understand a 3-speed on the tree.
Correct.
I learned on a 3-speed on the tree.
My first car had a 3 on the tree.
Yeah. And, you know, as a matter of fact, the only trophy I ever won was in a, got to think, 68 Nova with a 6-cylinder and a 3 on the tree.
Ice racing in Wisconsin?
No, it was here. Down at Houston International Raceway in Dickinson on the Gulf Freeway. And it had a Hurst shift kit in the column shifter.
Oh, how funny
Really?
is that?
And that thing was as smooth as glass, man. And you could bang that second gear all the way down to third gear. I mean, boom, you were there.
Nice.
Got a trophy. Until I broke out of my bracket, and then that was the end of that.
Well, he was the only one in the bracket.
I was not the only one in the bracket. Never
So,
give me any credit for anything.
When you got
just
the
like a
car,
husband.
was it that clean when you got the car, or have you done any work to it at all?
It was that clean. So the only thing I had done to the exterior was I had the rear fender on the passenger side repainted. Because the couple that owned it was a really young couple, and the guy was trying to get his wife to learn how to drive 3 on the tree.
Uh-oh.
They live in an apartment complex that had a huge column, so every time she drove in there, she just scraped it a little bit.
That's typical lady drivers.
Oh, send your comments to
Now we're going to get bombed.
inwheeltime.com.
Thank you, Jeff.
Well,
Is Kathy
on
listening?
on that spot painting, it wouldn't be as difficult as because that's not a metallic paint.
Correct.
You know, so a skilled painter should easily be able to match the paint on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Plus, the color is very forgiving.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the original? That's the original color?
So it would have been, I think it would have been a darker color.
Darker shade
Just a
of-
darker shade of
kind of
beige.
tan,
Correct.
sand, kind of a sand color.
Correct.
So
it's gorgeous.
Yeah. So when you get done with all the maintenance on it, and you get done tinkering around under the hood and that sort of stuff, and you've saved up a few coins, you're going to go back to the original color if you ever have it repainted?
I'd like to, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because that would be, if that were my car, that's what I'd want to do with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
and it's a DeSoto, and you said it's an L6?
No, S7.
S7.
Seven.
I kind of blew that, didn't I?
What is it? Was that
So
the
tell
model
us what,
number?
the model. Tell us what S7 means.
So S
within
is
the
just
DeSoto.
a sedan.
Sedan.
And,
Okay.
it's they had the S6, I think, or S7. This one happens to be an X7. It came in the custom and deluxe models. This one happens to be a custom.
Yeah, I can see it's got twin mirrors on it,
Correct.
which has got to either be an option or part of the 7 package, which is the upper level package.
Correct.
Because back then, twin mirrors was unusual.
Hell, I didn't even have twin mirrors on my 77 Corvette.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, I didn't. They had one.
Yeah, the driver's side mirror is always standard, but the passenger side's optional or part of an upper level package. And you said it had mohair interior originally?
The original, yeah. Yeah.
A little itchy, was it?
Correct.
So did you go back with mohair?
So I did not. I went with something that looks period correct, but I wanted to upgrade it, make it look better, and make
More
it more
durable, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's still a cloth interior.
It is still
Yeah,
a
yeah.
interior. Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm a huge cloth fan.
Yeah, same.
Well, I thought it was really cool that it had, I guess, the original mohair interior in it with only 86,000 miles. But, I mean, you're talking about a 55-year-old. I'd have to take my shoes off to do the math, but a 55-year-old
Yeah,
interior.
how about
81.
80?
Yeah.
Going on
See,
81
I
years
told
old.
you, that's how much you. So
It's almost
Just
as old
about
as
your.
Don.
I just got to say, just about your age, Mark.
almost. But I thought that was pretty impressive. It's just been replaced once.
So is there a DeSoto club in Houston or any kind of organized DeSoto owners here in town?
Not locally. Not
Okay.
that I have found.
There is one nationally.
There is one national.
And you're a member of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you find your membership gets you information or just camaraderie?
No, a lot of information as well. Yeah.
I was gonna say the information's pretty cool when you get in a club. They can give you bits and pieces of the why your car is what it is, and everybody always likes talking about just talking cars, which is all we do all Saturday long.
There's a lot of knowledge out there. Yes,
Yeah. So have you been on a car show before?
I have.
You have?
Yeah,
Which
actually.
one?
So several. So I go to the one that V Classics puts together, and they hang at Freddy's a bunch.
Yep.
Yep. I've been to the one in Fulshire. I went to one in Tomball a couple of months ago.
Yeah, but I'm
at
talking about
Rudy's.
the radio show.
Oh no, I've never been on a radio show. Sorry.
No?
No. Never been on
Well,
a
now
radio
you
show.
have.
Now I have.
Now you can brag to everybody. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
on the In Wheel Time show.
I was featured on your
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Well, so what are your plans today? You're going to stay till 11?
I am going to stay until 11. Yeah, I'm
Good.
hoping more cars show up. It's a beautiful day.
Oh,
yeah. Well, they're probably out there washing them now. See, if I were coming, wait till the sun got up so I could see what I was doing.
Sure.
Wash the car, spend about an hour kind of detailing it, then drive it up here, then detail it a little bit, clean it up just a little bit, and then sit around and talk to everybody.
Well, the guys with the Vipers over there, they drove in when it was still dark, and they're out wiping the cars down now. So they saved themselves a little bit of time and standing out there in the sun chatting with each other.
Yeah. So, at any rate, well, it's great to have you stop by and tell us about the 40 DeSoto.
S7.
S7.
Now I'm gonna have to go look that up and kind of learn a little bit more about what makes an S7 an S7.
There you
But
go.
it's a gorgeous car in
Thank you.
spectacular shape.
So, are you on Facebook?
I am not on Facebook.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I refuse.
Yeah, well, good for you. I'm finding more and more people that have either been on it and canceled or have never been on it.
Yeah, well,
Well, it just-
Angie's not on it. She's never been. She's got an Instagram account, but she doesn't do Facebook.
Yeah.
So it keeps me out of trouble.
Well,
'cause she
thank you
doesn't
so
know what
much for
else to do.
stopping by. We appreciate you. Be sure and give us your email address. I assume that you've got that.
I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank
And
you for
so-
having me.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate it. All right. We've got some other things that we need to take care of in this half hour. And as it turns out that Mr. Zekin, are you available to do your review? No, we're not having our people check.
Put
with
your
your
headphone
people.
on.
Yeah.
The Levante is that a dancer at the men's club?
No, like I said,
hey.
dude. There's something
That was the
wrong
guy
with
on
that
the
name.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I thought
There
it was
is
that guy
something
on there
wrong
or
with
something.
that name. I don't know what it is.
Gonna-
It's just kind of strange. But at any rate, before we get to that, why don't we do the racing calendar, shall we? Because that's what I have on the list
Well,
next.
I was bummed out. We talked about it. We were both bummed out last Sunday when Erica went out in the first round, just got hole shotted. We know Erica's she'll
Known as giving hole shots.
Yeah, I was gonna say
but not to be defeated. by
she will
one.
be better at Atlanta next weekend
Yep.
as NHRA moves to Atlanta, and then on the 28th, and then on April 11th, they'll be at the Winter Nationals in Pomona, which was traditionally
No, I think that's been canceled.
because of California.
Yeah, California has canceled that.
Thank you, Gavin Newsom. You
Once again.
you wonderful person.
What
So
a jacked up state that is.
both my kids live there. I
Good
know.
God Almighty.
Well, this morning, and it starts here in about after the show's over. Well, actually, it starts at 10:10 this morning. Is the 12 hours of Sebring. So IMSA, the Corvettes, and the Cadillac DPI cars will all be racing in Sebring. NASCAR today is and tomorrow is in Atlanta. And next weekend on the March 28th, NASCAR is going to be on the dirt track in Bristol.
That's the one I want to say.
Indy cars don't start until April. Formula One starts next weekend in Bahrain, and then we've got Gina Child Knowles is kicking off in April as well at Houston Motorsports Park. So, and that's going to be a local NASCAR event. You definitely want to be there. It's the 6th, isn't it?
I just so happen to have that
I
at
knew-
the
I
tip
knew
of
you
my
did.
fingers. I will be able to tell you here. I've got it over
But,
here.
you know, if you're interested in going NASCAR local, you definitely want to come out to Houston Motorsports Park.
April the 3rd.
13th.
April 3rd.
April 3rd. Okay, so that's just 2 weeks away.
Yeah, April 3rd. She's going to be with us next weekend.
And then Circuit of the Americas NASCAR Cup cars are on May 23rd, so lots of stuff coming local as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What are these two guys doing down here with hand signals to one another and that sort of thing? Huh?
Tic-tac-toe.
I'm sorry?
We're playing tic-tac-toe.
You're not. So time now for this hour's car review. And Jeffrey joins in the car reviews by doing the pre-owned car of the week here on the In Wheel Time Car Show. And that would happen to be this week, a thing called a 2017 Maserati Levante L.
L. That's right. There's an L and an S, but we're going to review the L.
All right.
And just one thing, we are on the patio broadcasting here because they won't let us in the building. So you have that.
Okay.
But Elvis is in the building.
Elvis is in the building.
Elvis has left the building.
This is an SUV. It's a 5-passenger. As Mike brings the picture up there.
Pull your microphone down just a little bit there, Jeff. You're popping that P.
How's that? Is that?
Well, you pulled it away from your. Just pull it down a little
Pull it
bit.
down.
Now pull it closer.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right.
I have to teach these non-radio people what to do,
Non-radio.
how to do it.
I do listen to the radio.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think about it.
Well, good
There you
morning,
go.
John Hovis and Gina Child Knowles. They've both joined us online.
John, your name came up. Hold on, just a second.
Sure.
John Hovis's name came up last night.
Yeah.
Hey, what's happened to the Hemi hideout? I said, well,
They're hiding
out from COVID is what they're doing. So we're hoping that John is planning at least some late summer, early fall events.
That'd be great.
And
As
that we'll
things
be
open
there.
back up.
Yeah.
That's
be
just
great.
a smart thing
So
to do.
anyway, now that we got that.
Yeah,
All right.
a 5-passenger. The exterior changes, they're just minor cosmetic changes year to year with the Maserati. They really don't do anything extravagant or off the wall. Exterior features do include the hands-free entry, the xenon HID lamps, which is high-intensity discharge. That's what that means. Blind spot warnings, sound alert. So it's not only just a light, but you do get an audio of that. Very similar, yeah. It's like a pesky little mosquito. Heated windshield washer nozzles. Who does that? That's incredible. I think that's just fantastic.
Heated nozzles.
Heated nozzles.
I'm not even going to go there.
I just thought I'd throw it out there. Interior, you got the power foot pedals. You can adjust the
So
distance.
instead of the tilting, telescoping column, the foot pedals move back. and
Exactly. I
forth.
have that in my Cadillac, so I think they copied it. Wooden or carbon fiber steering wheel, which is also heated. I like that. 280-watt stereo system with 8 speakers, satellite radio with live traffic reports as you're listening.
Great.
Drive me insane.
So we can listen to Don
I
while
was
we're.
thinking, a little yeah, you got a helicopter noise.
We had
in
a
there?
motorcycle chase over here on the east side.
No, you beat your chest. There you go.
There you go.
Full premium leather. There's no cloth in this. And there's just too many to list on the interior side. It does have 13 exterior colors, 11 interior colors.
It's a highfalutin looking
High-
SUV.
It is. It's a pretty vehicle. It really is. It is
Ciao,
a
baby.
3-liter V6 turbo dual overhead cam. You have your choice of either 4 or 6 valves per cylinder, Conrad. What would you like?
6 valves per
That's
cylinder.
what it says, 4 or 6, depending on if we get the turbo or not.
Boy, you talk about complicated.
Exactly. 345 to 424 horsepower. The 424 is the turbo at 5750 on the RPM side. 369 to 428 on the torque at 1750 RPM. Of course, the turbo is the 428. It is an automatic 6-speed paddle shift vehicle. You get 14 miles to the gallon city and 19 highway combined 16. Overall, the top speed non-turbo is 156. The turbo, you 164 miles per hour.
Wow.
0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds. You got a 4-year 50,000-mile warranty on it with a 21-gallon fuel tank.
So in other words, no, you
good
can't.
looking-
It's
good
still
looking
out of
SUV.
warranty by now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this one actually is just.
This is where you'd call Car Shield.
Who does that?
No, Car Shield will call you 3 times a day.
You're right.
I've got a side story for that later. The ride and handling, you got 19s, 20s, and 21-inch wheels on a 295/45 aspect ratio, depending on the size of wheel you want. Ventilated 4-wheel disc brakes, traction control with active suspension. Now, the vehicles in the 17 model, 42,000 to 46,000, depending on the mileage. Now, the 42,000 had around 50,000 miles, so it's just out of warranty. The $46,000 vehicle had around 36 to 38,000 miles. Like vehicles would be the Volvo or Infiniti, and now we've got logos. I don't think Don can see the logos on
Oh,
there.
yes, I can.
Don
That's
can see the
isn't that the
logos.
Devil's Fork?
No, it's Triton's fork.
Trident.
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 Now-
It looks like the Devil's Fork. to me.
Trident was the god of water
Yeah, well,
in
look,
Greek mythology.
Here, let me hand this to you. You can read it.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Founded over 150 years ago on December 1st, 1914 in Bologna, Italy, Maserati began as a family venture. 5 brothers, Alfieri, Bindo, Carlo, Ettore, and Ernesto.
I was a friend of Bendo's.
Well, I just Bindo.
Don't stop.
I'm not. I'm
And
going
their
on.
father was Guido.
No. Manny, Mo, and Jack were the cousins. Various automobile experiences and expertise to get the company started. The company's initial venture focused on creation of race cars. Alfieri Maserati was one of the first finishers.
We'll just
during-
call him Al.
We'll call him Al Maserati. A 1926 Targa Flora Grand Prix motor race in Sicily, where he drove one of the first Maserati race cars ever produced.
Okay.
Yet another brother, Mario, was a primary designer of the logo. The prominent figure of the logo is the trident, and Mario based the design of the Fountain of Neptune, founded in Piazza Maggiore.
That's Piazza.
There's no T in it. It's
No,
Piazza.
there's not.
No.
Just saying.
Pizza.
Pizza.
The Piazza with cheese in Bologna. It's the Neptune's
Bologna.
weapon.
It's a pizza with bologna.
It sounds good to me. Neptune's weapon. It's Neptune being the Roman god of the sea, as Conrad stated. The trident symbolizes the power and ability of control of water, and Neptune himself symbolizes strength and vigor, which we all have here on the board. Upon the suggestion of the family friend, the brothers decided to keep the trident on the logo, represent force in the race car industry, and also represented their homeland in Bologna.
And the logo really, looking at the history from 26 to today, hasn't really changed a lot.
No.
In 15 they removed the oval around it, but the logo has been pretty consistent
Yep.
all along.
Yep. And there you have it, the end.
Bologna.
Bologna.
We learned the word Bologna.
I think we're all full of
Neptune,
Bologna.
Piazza.
Maserati, Piazza,
Mario.
Mario, and Al.
Next week we'll be doing Latin.
The Latin car.
I'll get a
All right.
40
It's the
DeSoto.
Pope Mobile.
The Pope Mobile. We should do a Pope. What do they do with the old Pope Mobiles?
I have no idea. No idea. I will find a unicorn Pope Mobile somewhere.
Please do.
I know that you cannot buy an armored vehicle, armored car. You cannot buy one. They cut them up.
Really?
I tried years
Well,
ago.
Is it armored? I mean,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
guess.
I would
it's-
imagine so.
Oh, wait.
yeah.
Is
With-
it armored or is it just the bulletproof glass?
No,
Probably
it's armored.
both, yeah.
I was going to buy one years and years ago and turned it into like a beach vehicle. Little
Oh,
camper
yeah,
thing.
just what you need is a 9,000-pound vehicle
on the beach. That too.
All right. Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can always shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. And I also want to remind you that the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcasts, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Amazon, and Podcast Addict, among others. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, April 17th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one location. Cars from all over South Southeast Texas, cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 17th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, April 17th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy, weather permitting. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to onhold.net.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Today, coming to you from the monthly Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In out here at Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, Texas. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin, our chief engineer, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us today. I wanted to let you know where this Lupe Tortilla is located. It is located on 99, the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. So
Is that in Katy?
In Katy.
I said Katy. Yes, it is in Katy.
Just checking.
Yeah, thank you. Not on the Katy Freeway, but in Katy, Texas.
In Katy.
Just to
Okay.
make sure that we're all straight
just
on.
checking.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful day. We got plenty of cruisers out here. We're going to interview one right now, as a matter of fact. Mr. Mars?
Yes, this is Danny Schuhart.
Danny.
Danny.
Morning. How y'all doing?
Good.
And he is driving this very unique vehicle sitting out here. I've heard about him forever and ever, but I've never actually seen one.
A Holden Ute.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So, in other words, it's kind of an El Camino.
Exactly. When
Australian with an accent.
Right. Well, we stopped making them in '87, and they never stopped. They made them all the way to 2017.
Well, how the heck did you get that?
I came over here on a boat.
Did you have it shipped over here?
This one I actually bought off of eBay. It was already brought over.
Is here,
California with no drive line in it, right?
No.
It's just a rolling chassis. You can't bring them over with a motor.
Oh, really?
It looks like it's got a Pontiac front end on it.
They look very similar, right? The GTO, the
Yeah.
406 GTO is the same version of this car, but in the coupe.
So that's the GTO in an El Camino style.
Called
Correct.
a Ute.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
And they built that. They've been building that forever.
Since 1950.
I had no
Since
clue.
1951.
I had no clue,
Right.
and that is really good looking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my beater truck. That's my work truck.
So we have something other than the beater truck?
Well, I went to Australia to get parts for this one, and I found a black one. It was
You
actual.
just couldn't help yourself.
It was an actual SS with an HSV body kit on it, lowered, and I said, I like this one much better. So I bought it, and we pulled the motor out with a forklift and in about 2 hours with a forklift and a seatbelt, and packed it full of parts and shipped it back over.
So why did you take the motor out?
Because you can't bring it over with an engine transmission because it's not emissions legal.
Oh,
So did you ship the motor separately?
No, you can't.
No. So you can't even bring the motor in. You
can't
got to
bring the
start
motor.
over. So what did you start with when you got
let
here?
me guess.
Well-
It's got an LS in it.
Well, it had an LS in it over there, too.
It had an LS on that one. This one was originally a V6 car,
Okay.
so it was a base model. And my other one, my wife won't let me touch it until I sell this one. So
Seriously?
yeah, I've got too many cars. So that was one of the rules. I was only supposed to have one, and
You couldn't help yourself?
help
You
myself,
tried
so-
to sneak it in and it wouldn't work.
right. So
you said the black one has the HSV kit. HSV is Holden Specialty Vehicles.
Holden Special Vehicles, yeah.
Special Vehicles, which is kind of Holden's version of an AMG Mercedes.
Or like, when they like Hennessy or
Right.
whatever, they take factory vehicles and they
Upgrade them
swap
substantially.
the bumpers, the suspension, brakes, and give it a little
Sometimes
tune-up.
do some big engines in them
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Actually, the 2017 model Utes, the GTSRs, they had a LSA in them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they 640 horse and nothing but smoke.
Not a bad day.
No.
So is that the plan for yours?
Mine's
Your wife's
actually-
not listening.
My black one is actually going to be a show car.
Okay.
So it'll be a magazine car. It'll have electroluminescent paint job and doors that come off and
So in
slide
other words,
back.
you're selling this one.
I'm selling this one, yeah. But I enjoy driving it. I haul engines in it, all kind of stuff.
So
I've taken a drag strip.
So how much you asking for it, or have you put a price on it yet?
26,000.
26.
Yeah.
So when Conrad goes to his car and pulls out the 26 grand, we could buy the car today.
Correct.
Said we.
You know what, Conrad? If
That's
you put all
actually
the
pretty
junk out
cool.
of your trunk in the back of
I,
it,
That's
I got I got a bigger trunk to storage stuff
And
in.
just for reference, it'll tow 1,000 pounds. So it's, in the bed. Mm-hmm. So it's got a pretty high tow rate on it.
that's just about everything out of
well,
the trunk.
and very unique vehicle in Australia, very common, but here in the States, you really don't see very many.
I've
of
never
them.
seen
And
one.
especially with right-hand drive. So
Exactly.
there's a place in Colorado that converts them to left-hand drive.
Why?
They convert them for people that want them over here
Why?
to make them. Well, I know. I enjoy driving right-hand drive more anyway.
It's got to freak people out,
But
though.
it makes them 50 state legal.
Okay.
So,
So what
there's-
states are they not legal in as left?
Really?
I'm not sure.
Probably
California.
I
California.
bet in
one of them.
California would be one of them, yeah.
Yeah, but
What's wrong with those people out there?
I don't know, man.
A lot.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
If you're listening in
wrong
California,
radio.
Wrong program.
if you're
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
or listening in California, we apologize, and we're not responsible for what comes out of our mouths. So just never mind.
But I'm sure that everywhere you go with that attracts a lot of attention, not just because you're sitting on the wrong side of the car or the right side of the car, depends on what you think of it, but just the fact that there's one here. And I know when I worked for General Motors back in the early 2000s, Pontiac had considered bringing the Ute over here, and
It was going to be a G8 ST.
right, and they were just too stupid to do that.
Well, they actually had a competition to win one, or a contest to win one. Somebody won it, and then they ended up reneging on the deal because of the closing out Pontiac. So they ended up not bringing it.
What a shame.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of. I had El Camino when I was a teenager, and I love El Caminos,
yeah.
and I love Holdens. So I've got 5 Holdens.
Do you really?
Yeah, I've got a 2017 SS. I've got a 06 GTO, 05 GTO's 1,000 wheel horsepower and 200-mile record holder at the Texas Mile.
So are you going this weekend?
I am going this next weekend to support a friend of mine who's been trying to hit 200.
Yeah, the 28th, right?
And I did mine in 2015, but it took a lot of power and a lot of braking stuff along the
It's
way.
pushing a lot of
bet.
air around.
Yeah. So
Well, no wonder your wife's mad. You got 5 of them, you said.
Yeah.
5 or 6?
I've got 5.
5. Just checking.
Yeah.
See if it was the same story.
Well, I've got like in all, I think we've got 13 or 14 vehicles. So, and I live in a subdivision.
Oh, you got a big
Are they all there at
driveway.
the house?
Well, I've got I
They're
live
all
in a
parked on the
cul-de-sac.
front yard?
No, I got 3 or 4 in the backyard. I put a gate in.
It's
so I
very
can drive
matter of
in.
fact. I just in the backyard. Well, let's
Yeah.
go out back.
Oh my God.
He opens the hood of one of them. That's where he does the barbecue. and
Right.
He's the neighbor
That
that
everybody hates.
No, it's everybody wants.
no, none of the above. Because he never has to cut his grass because there is none.
Exactly. It's all dead spots.
It's all dead spots.
Just move the car around every
Yeah.
now and then.
Yeah, that's what I do.
exactly. Do all the other cars, do they work? Do they run?
The black Ute does not run because there's no motor in it.
Yeah.
Like I say,
And what,
So is it in the backyard?
it's in the backyard. And
what
then
motor do you have planned for that?
it's going to have an LS2
Okay.
and a big old cam and airbag, air suspension.
Call it
and-
lumpy.
So
yeah.
let me ask you this. How long have you been married?
26 years.
So it's coming to an end soon if you don't get rid of one of the cars.
No, it's still going to sit there until I sell this one. And
I see.
then
No,
I
I
get to
think he was
start.
talking about the
Well,
marriage.
we could tell
Yeah,
how
no, no.
motivated.
because that's the way he works.
No, my wife's very supportive of me, and I'm supportive of her. And,
But just when there's no room in the backyard, then that's when we cut it off.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, this COVID thing kind of threw a hitch in me selling this thing. It's a pretty tight market to sell one of these.
Thank you, Joe.
Not everybody's looking for an El Camino, and especially one that's right-hand drive. So
Well, we can tell how motivated you are because there's no for sale sign in it.
it's on the back window.
Oh, well,
Yeah, just in case his wife's listening.
Yeah. But I park it in the backyard too because I don't drive it that often.
and
so-
you said this is an LS motor?
Yeah, this is an LS1.
Okay.
It's out of a F-body Camaro.
Oh, okay.
It's got a GTO transmission and subframe, and the suspension's all the same as GTO. So
Right, the wheels are right off
yeah,
the
those are
GTO,
actually
too.
GTO wheels
Yeah.
too. So
That really, why didn't they make that here in the U.S.?
Gutless,
well,
absolutely
imagine,
gutless management who didn't have courage enough because they were all bean counters and they weren't car people. That's been the downfall of General Motors for the last 30 years.
Conrad's not bitter after getting laid off after 28 years.
right.
But I
I'd be
mean,
salty too, right?
seriously, I mean, now they're talking about finally, after I've been after this for the past 15, 20 years, why don't they make a small pickup truck? Well,
true.
guess what? Now they're all going to start making a small pickup truck like the old Ford Ranger, that size.
Chevy Love.
Well, they
Here
make
it
a
is
little,
right there.
little version of this in Mexico called the Tornado. It's a little front-wheel drive four-cylinder. It looks like a shrunk version of it.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Who builds that?
Chevy.
I didn't know that.
Chevy builds a Tornado in Mexico.
Yeah.
And they
But
just switch a couple of letters around and it's a Tornado.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's just how you pronounce it, I think, isn't it?
I was real fortunate when I went to Australia. I spent days in the junkyard from open to close pulling parts and bought a bunch of spare parts to bring over for our community for GTO people. And I was lucky enough to get a tour of the HSV plant in 2017.
Oh, wow.
Because they stopped production of vehicles in 2017
Right.
too. So it was.
Are they
great.
out of
So
business?
They're out of business as of December of 2020 completely, but they stopped producing rear-wheel drive V8 vehicles, producing any vehicles in Australia, and started importing them. And then everybody in Australia just had a fit over that and stopped buying, and that was the demise
That pretty well
of
killed
Holden.
it off.
Yeah.
So as they were going out of business, how many shipping containers of stuff did you bring home?
I shared some containers, so I've got some stuff on the boat right now.
Multiples.
Multiples. He's still got stuff on the boat.
I got about, I guess, $10,000 or $15,000 worth of stuff on the boat right now. I'm waiting to get here. So, as soon as-
Let me ask you this:
Mechanical parts or body
are you
body parts.
Body
are you dealing? I mean, are you selling some of the stuff that you bring
Oh,
over to
yeah.
kind of offset the shipping and everything else?
Exactly.
I got you.
Yeah. I've got like 15,000 pounds of GTO and Monaro parts. So I've got a big storage building. And
Can't you just order it on Amazon?
not quite. And as soon as Holden closed in December, the price of everything just shot up
Skyrocketed.
dramatically.
Yeah, 'cause
Well, I know one of the characteristics of the 0406 GTO was the key fobs were horribly designed because after you put a third key fob in it,
it'll take 4.
but then you have to replace the module
Yes.
because
And
it's not cheap and probably isn't even available anymore.
There are some. You can't get Pontiac ones.
You've got some, right?
I've got spares, but these things, you can't reprogram a used one from another car to
Right.
this one. I mean, they're locked to that BCM unless you know what you're doing with the Tech 2 or turn off the VATs or something like that. I've got all that stuff too, but
How did you gain all of this knowledge? I mean, are you a mechanic or?
I'm a master mechanic. Yeah.
Where at?
Well, I'm work for myself right now, but
Okay.
I worked in tire shops and independent shops for years.
No
since-
dealerships?
No, never worked in a
Never
dealership.
got any of that Pontiac training as those were coming over?
No, I learned all mine the hard way. Like I say, my friend had a 04 GTO, and then I got mine in 05. I've been working on them and collecting parts ever since. I work on about 50 in the Houston area. People come from Austin, from pretty big distance because I take care of their vehicles
Well,
and I know what I'm
you
doing.
also have to know what you're doing on those because of the Australian connection.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unique things about the way that's wired, I'll say, more
Correct.
than anything else,
They have a lot of intricacies.
that
That's not the
aren't
right word.
on normal domestic cars.
Correct.
They do things differently.
Yeah.
Even in the way that they name the modules and stuff is totally
Security
different than
systems
what
are supposed to have been unstealable, but there's been a lot stolen, usually by wrecker. But yeah, I'm constantly on Facebook and on the forums and stuff trying to help people troubleshoot issues with them. And like I say, I've always got the spare parts. So
Now, do you have a garage that you work out of?
I work out of my garage.
Your
at the house.
garage, yeah.
But I'm working
Just
on
bring it
opening
on
a
over.
shop.
We'll take care of it.
Yeah. I'm working on opening a shop. So hopefully sometime this year.
Yeah.
I'll have a,
get some of that stuff out of the backyard.
yeah, all of it is coming out of the backyard, and all of it will come out of storage and into that shop. So my wife will be real happy about that.
Well, but there's a pretty big following of that generation GTO and the G8 that are interested in the parts that you have as well.
Right.
Because they're difficult to find, and generally the dealers haven't had inventory on those for years, because as the vehicles went out of production, what little bit the dealers had, people
got
went and
used
bought.
up?
No,
Yeah.
people went and bought the dealer's inventory of them because they knew that as they went out of production, it wasn't going to be replaceable.
Yeah, a lot of these parts are also GTO-G8TA.com bought a whole bunch of these parts, right? So they have a bunch of new old stock. Plus, they're remaking a whole bunch of stuff, too, to help support the market. And they got great customer service. So when there's something I can't find or I can't get, I go to them to get parts I need.
Is that bunch over in, is it Georgia? No?
I'm not sure.
Are they doing the conversions on the Chevy Camaros into the Bandit cars? And
Oh,
stuff?
No. Those are in
different.
Florida.
Those, yeah.
That's TA Trans Am Depot. I think.
Trans Am Depot.
Now this is GTO-G8TA.com. So they do GTOs, G8s, and Trans Am parts only. They don't do any service or repairs or anything. They just sell parts.
Gotcha.
So on that, I'll call it the platform, GTO Ute platform, one of the biggest complaints I've always heard from people who bought them was wheels and tires, because the offset of the rear axle doesn't lend itself to put a fatty on the back.
It doesn't, but if you got some money and
Well, you can do anything if you got some money.
my GTO, I've mini tubbed it and took the factory
Okay.
17s and had them widened 1.5 inches, and I've got 315s that go behind it, but if I do a coilover relocate, I could put 335s under the back.
Okay. Because that's the uniqueness of the car, and generally the domestic cars didn't sell that kind of an offset. So
Yeah.
it was always hard to find wheels for that.
It was tight to squeeze a 275 under there unmodified without rubbing. And, there's lots of different wheels. And when you get them, they're narrower than the factory wheels, unless you custom order them with the right offset.
Cool.
How did you get into this?
Um,
Because
You know-
this would probably been in your high school years, correct?
No. I built my first engine when I was 13. I've never went to school or anything. I just can understand mechanicals. It doesn't matter
Okay.
what you're working on,
Yeah.
a crane or airplane. It's all nuts and bolts. So I'm a car guy. I've had lots of classic cars, but when that GTO came out, I got invited to the Auto Show in Motion by GM
Yeah.
here at Houston, right? And so they give you an armband. You got a ticket for a ride in a Corvette and a ticket for a ride in the Hummer, and everything else is free range. Well, they've got these GTOs out there with all the other basic cars on this little autocross course. And
Nobody really understood what the GTO was either.
I did.
No, but as
I
far
was
as
on
GM and them, I
Right,
don't
right.
think they did.
And so they said, don't spin the tires coming off the line. Don't knock any cones over. And me and my friend, man, we were timing ourselves around this thing until they finally kicked us off. And, that was on the 04, and I really liked it. Another friend bought one, and then the next year when we got invited back, it was like, if you make the tire squeal go around a turn, we're kicking you off the course. And it wasn't just us, it was everybody. But I really was waiting for that 05 because it had the LS2 in it.
Right.
And, it was...
And the
hood scoops.
duals and the hood scoops, yeah.
Right.
The dual outlet in the back.
And so I was all down to convincing the wife, and I was talking about, I did give up my 81 Z28 when our first daughter was born so we could remodel the baby's room. So that was kind of my...
Is the wife here today?
No.
You don't bring her to these, do you?
No, she's sleeping in. She's not a car person, but she's very supportive
She's just
of
got
what
a
I do.
house full of cars.
Yeah. Yeah. But she's very supportive of me, and so, I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. Well, lucky you,
Yeah.
because it just doesn't happen all the
No.
time.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things about that what I'll call the platform is one of the greatest seats in the car business. The rest of the interior is pretty nice, but what a wonderful, luscious seat that is to sit in.
To be honest, that was the thing that sold me. I was looking at Mustangs also at the time, and the seat, I've got a bad back, and where most cars I can ride 30 minutes, I can ride 3 hours in that with no problem.
I'm coming over to your house. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have some fun.
All right. Well, hey, it's great for you to stop by. We really appreciate the time and great.
Telling us about your car.
Yeah,
and
we really
your passion for the car as well.
Yeah, I love these cars. I'm a Holden guy, and
Well,
you know,
I've never seen one, and that was a good. That is good looking.
They've got ones that I'd love to have over here. They've got all-wheel drive station wagons with LS1s in them, and crew cab utes. You know
what? If that had a
Yeah,
six-cylinder, I'd like it.
Yeah, this was a
Yeah,
base
it's a good-looking
six-cylinder
car.
originally,
Yeah.
right? But they were a base model, so this one doesn't have ABS or traction control.
And so you couldn't even get them in the GTO. It had to have all that stuff.
Yeah, it had to, and like the SS had this stuff, had all the good stuff, but the base model was just a stripped-down version, pretty much. So.
Well, Danny, thanks so much for stopping
Yes,
by.
sir.
We really
Thank you for having
appreciate
me.
it. Thank you
Yeah,
very
thank
much.
you.
We'll hope
Have
to
a
see
good
you
one.
again.
All right,
All
thanks.
right. All right, thanks for joining us here on today's In Wheel Time Car Show, coming to you live today from the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant and the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. What do you got for us today?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about what happens if you overheat your car. The cooling system in a car not only cools the engine, it's also cooling the transmission. It cools and works the air conditioning system. Some vehicles have power steering coolers on them as well. So if your car overheats, and cars overheating isn't as common as it used to be, but if your car overheats, you really need to immediately kind of click it off, find a safe place to pull over and stop and turn the engine off, because if you don't do something like that, you can cause some pretty catastrophic damage to it pretty quickly. In the hot season like the summer, if you see that your temperature's starting to rise, turn the air conditioning off, because the way that the coolant stack is in there, the air conditioner is the first component, and then the radiator is behind it. So it's pulling heat out of the air conditioner, so it's blowing hot air over the radiator. So it can get your cooling system to work a little bit better if you click your air conditioning system off. And if it's overheating, you want to look at why. First thing you want to look at, do you have any of those funny colored fluids underneath the vehicle on the ground? Because coolants today can be green, blue, orange, purple, pink, yellow, red, all different colors. And the funny thing about that is all of those colors are just that. It's a dye that's added to the coolant to give it a color so that the manufacturer can identify what coolant's in it. I highly recommend that you use the coolant that your vehicle was spec'd for, and there are some very good universals out there as well. But if you're going to use a universal, you want to make sure you flush your coolant system, because some coolants don't like to play well together. So you want to make sure you get all of the old out before you put something different inside of it. But again, if your car does overheat, go ahead and turn the car, as quickly as you can, pull off safely, turn the car off immediately. Once you've pulled over to a safe spot, pop the hood. Don't touch anything, because everything's going to be hot. And if there's steam blowing out of something, don't get real close to it, and let it begin to cool off. If you do happen to have a cooler or like a drink cooler or something, and you want to go ahead and let it kind of leak, open up the little tap on it so it goes down over the radiator, that'll help cool the engine down a little bit quicker. But in most cases, you're going to need to contact a professional to find out why. If all it did was popped a hose and the coolant system got low, that's pretty easy to correct. But most cars today, you don't see hose failures. What you're going to see is going to be generally a failure of a coolant fan not coming on, or one of the more common things, and especially on Corvettes, Don, is because they're what are called bottom breathers. All of the air for the radiator comes in under the bumper.
Yes, I am very familiar with that.
Sometimes you can scoop up some of those plastic bags and stuff, and they'll get over the radiator, and that can cause you to overheat.
It's funny you should say that, because all of my Camaros were that way from the 80s on up. And Yes, you had to check. I checked underneath there all the time.
And it needs to be a practice to check under there, because if you don't and you do overheat, it can be pretty
And
catastrophic.
if you don't want to get on your hands and knees or on your back to look underneath there, they make those mirrors with the retractable wand on them. You just look underneath there.
Well, yeah, when I get down on something, when I have to look at something
say,
like
would
that,
you
when I
like
get
to
down on
rephrase
something,
that?
I'll take my phone, and I'll lean over and take a picture underneath there.
Yeah.
But it's real important that you keep your radiator, the front of the radiator, clean of debris, whether it's plastic debris or leaves and stuff. All of that stuff can cause you to overheat. So, again, if your car overheats, click it off. Park in a safe spot and stop.
Figure out what the heck's going on. Okay. Time now for some of the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Nissan North America recalling 126,809.2 vehicles because of a potential tire failure.
Yikes.
Recall includes certain 2019 to 2020 Altimas, 18 to 21 Titan models also, equipped with Continental tires. One or more tires on the vehicles in question may have been cured too long in production. Sidewalls,
I didn't even know they were sick.
Sidewalls in the over-cured tires could break. Belt edge separation may also occur. Either condition could cause a loss of vehicle control, increasing the risk of a crash, according to the recall notice. About 1% of recall vehicles are believed to have the defect, the company said. So check your tires. If it's Continental, you'll definitely want to take it into the dealer. Hyundai Motor America is recalling 100,000 vehicles in the U.S. and Canada from its Genesis luxury division because of problems with the anti-lock brake system, which could result in an electrical short and vehicle thermal event. The affected vehicles include certain 15 to 16 Hyundai Genesis sedans, 17 to 20 Genesis G80 midsize sedans, too. Hyundai said the affected vehicles in both recalls were equipped with anti-lock brake system modules that could malfunction and cause an electrical short over time, potentially resulting in an engine compartment thermal event while the vehicle is driven or parked.
Shake on it.
Yikes.
Have other recalls to tell you about. Mercedes-Benz Metris from the 2021 model year. The front passenger seat frame was not welded properly. So if you've got an ex-wife that's traveling with you in the Metris, there you go. There's your answer.
Depends on what she weighs.
Oh.
So, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Well, you heard Ford is moving the Avon Lake assembly plant to Mexico.
Sad.
And I think the unions are just a little upset.
A little ticked?
Yeah.
A little ticked. But
Say that, at least. The Nissan Sentra 2016 to 2019 models. Brake lights may not illuminate. Kia Cadenza and Sportage from the 17 to 21 models could have an engine compartment thermal event.
Gosh.
Don't want to have that. Nissan tie rod ball joint fastener may not have been tightened properly.
That's just a lack of steering event. Yeah. General Motors issued a non-compliance recall on 2017 and 18 Chevy Silverados and GMC Sierra HDs that may have factory-equipped faulty seatbelt retractor assemblies as
Loose subframe bolts on the Ford Mustang Mach-E. I didn't even do it. Can you buy it yet?
No.
It's the 21 model. That could have things really mess up. Volkswagen Atlas from 2018 to 2019 could have a tire failure caused by a sudden air loss. Really?
A sudden air
loss. Love that. Lower control arm may detach due to corrosion on the Mitsubishi Outlander Sport 2013 to 2015 models. No kidding.
That's a bad thing.
Yeah, that is a bad thing. So sorry.
So you heard the 2022 Ram 1500 and Ram HD trucks are going to offer a trailer 360 view with an optional behind-the-trailer camera system as well.
No, I didn't know that.
That's going to be pretty cool.
All right. Quick break now. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, April 17th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 17th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, April 17th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy, weather permitting. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to onhold.net.
It's always good to be right on top of everything, don't you think? Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk. It's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Today coming to you from the monthly Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, Texas. Not on the Katy Freeway. Just ahead, we'll talk to more of the participant cruisers at today's event. Plus, Mr. Mars reviews the Mazda 3, or the Mazda hashtag. We'll let you know what that's all about coming up. We'll check our weekly events calendar, and we'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, March 20th, 2021. Howdy along with Mike Out of This World, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us today. Stan's not going to be here. I just got word from Sheila, his wife.
Stan's at the track.
Stan's at the track in Georgia.
Nice.
So,
nice.
So there you go. Now we know why he's not here.
Yeah,
because they've been on the road for 3 weeks. They went to the Baby Gator Nationals, then the Gator Nationals, and now they're in Georgia for some event that Jason Line and Greg Anderson are having something to do in Georgia.
Well, that's at Atlanta. This is the off weekend for NHRA, and next weekend they're going to be in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So they'll probably be there for that as well. So they'll be there for a few weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So, a matter of fact, I'll tell you here exactly. Well, let's see.
Dead air.
We've been on just a moment. We've been on the road for 3 weeks racing. Baby Gators, then Gator Nationals. Now we're in Georgia racing, and she and Stan are racing stock and super stock, put on by Bo Butner and Jason Line. Stan did good last night. He made it down to 5 cars. I guess
awesome.
He's out. Yeah, so that's good, going through 5 rounds. Very good. All right, Mr. Mars, it's all yours.
You know, when we got here this morning, which we got here early, but we weren't – there was real close to coming in behind us. There was 4 cars that came in, and one of those was what I thought was – basically a Shelby, but it's not a Shelby. And Bill Sekar, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. He's going to explain what this is because I've tried to say the name of it 4 times and I didn't get it straight yet.
So what I brought was a Superformance Mark III, which is basically a Shelby Cobra replica. These cars, they're built in South Africa and are manufactured. They're not a kit. They're not home built at all. They're shipped over here to the U.S., usually go to Irvine.
As a complete car?
As a complete car. Oh. Well, not totally complete. It's a rolling chassis. So they come over here as a rolling chassis, and then the owner or the dealer that gets it installs a motor and transmission, and then it becomes a complete car.
Of the buyer's choice.
That's correct.
Because it doesn't have to necessarily
That's
be a
correct.
Ford power
So you
plant.
get to
That's
you
right.
get to select your horsepower and the drivetrain.
That's correct. Yeah, so the one I
And
have.
so what did you get the 10,000 horsepower model?
No, this thing, it's so small. The engine I have is a 342. It's a Roush 342R.
Nice.
Puts out just under 500 horsepower, so it's plenty for
I
that
was
little
going to
car.
say, how much
Yeah.
do you need for a car
You-
that weighs nothing?
Yeah, you don't. Anything above 300 horsepower, you're probably not going to be able to use it all anyway.
Right.
So what's the car weigh?
About 2,200
With or without the motor?
with.
With the motor.
Yeah, that's with.
Let's load it up.
Yeah, no, loaded up, you're probably around 25.
25.
Yeah, but yeah, with the
Which
motor,
is nothing.
2,200. No, it's a go-kart. I mean, it really is. It's like a 500 horsepower go-kart.
So have you had it? Have you had it in a parking lot
Have you tracked
autocross?
it at
Or?
all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you didn't have to think about it.
Well,
smiling,
I'm
you know.
smiling because it's not what you're used to, right? I mean, new cars have a lot of traction control, nanny devices, stuff like that. This thing has nothing. So when you put your foot down, you either have traction or you don't, right? It's very simple. If
Yep.
you need traction again, you lift up, and it gets out of hand very quickly.
Needless to say.
Yeah, if you don't really know what you're doing, it can kill you.
That would be me.
And
So that's why I wouldn't take it out of the actual autocross track.
Right.
Because you can't get going that
Yeah.
fast in it to
well,
kill
you can
yourself. Well, have you tried?
to kill myself in
Yeah.
it.
No.
Not on purpose. No.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah.
But one of the great things about the Superformance is the suspension system's a little more sorted out
Correct.
than the original Cobra was.
Absolutely. Yeah. So when I got this, I actually drove a continuation series and the Superformance, and in my opinion, the Superformance actually handled better. So I saved money, and I think I got a better handling car.
So you decided to buy a car as a rolling chassis as opposed to a kit car, because there's a lot of kit cars of these.
There are.
And so why did you go that route as opposed to building it yourself?
Time.
Oh, okay.
Time.
You wanted it,
was,
you wanted it now.
Well, I looked a long time, right? I mean, I'd been in the market for probably the past 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Test driving them, figuring out which model I wanted, whether I wanted a kit. The kits, if you know what you're doing and you have time, you can make a great car from a kit.
But if you're buying somebody else's existing
you don't know
kit,
what you're getting.
Yeah, or the quality of
Right,
the work that
right.
was done, and you're
That's
tend
exactly
to be
right.
buying their headache.
That's
why
exactly right.
They're getting rid of it.
So it basically came down to, do I want to spend 2 or 3 years and do it right myself on a kit, or do I want to continue looking and find what I really, really want and just spend a little extra money?
that's already
And
well
that's-
sorted out.
Exactly. It's manufactured. The fit and finish is I say second to none as far as the Superformance goes. So.
And you wanted the true Cobra lookalike, because Superformance makes a couple of variations. Don't they make a Daytona?
They do. They
As
do.
well?
They're the only licensed one by Shelby. When Shelby was alive, he went around and looked at a couple of different kits and stuff like that. And Superformance was the truest replica of what he had done in the past.
Glass body.
So, yes,
Fiberglass
these are
bodies.
fiberglass. Yeah,
And where is the factory? Where do they build
South
these?
Africa.
In South Africa.
Yeah,
And that's
South
where
Africa.
it was whenever he said, okay.
So
I'm
I
gonna-
guess there's no
That's
free
correct.
Amazon shipping on this one.
Not that I know of. No.
Yeah.
You
No.
know, but the shipping may come through the Amazon to get it.
Yeah, that's right. The Delta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
They brought it over with the Holden.
Yeah, the Holden.
So the process, you found a dealer?
No, this one was actually secondhand. So
Oh, okay.
I didn't buy it new per se, but what I did do is I had spec'd out what I wanted.
Right.
And it took me that long to find the exact car that I wanted to buy.
Okay.
If you were to buy one now, you'd go through Superformance in Irvine, and I think they have a satellite in Arizona, I'm not sure. But you would go through them, and you would pick a rolling chassis, and then from that point, you would either work through them or work through your own mechanic and get an engine and transmission put in there.
Okay. So they could hook you up with Roush like they did with somebody
Absolutely.
up here.
So
Absolutely.
how did that Roush connection go for you?
So I looked at a bunch of different engines. Okay, Roush uses a dart block, which is extremely overbuilt for this car.
Right. It's a
the-
racing block.
It is. It is. This whole engine is a racing engine, right? I mean, Roush 8's they known for building NASCAR motors. But this motor is, I don't want to say detuned because it's not, but for this car, it's the perfect horsepower weight for this car.
Why do you say that? Because you also said earlier that, this is a lot of horsepower for that car.
It is, but the weight, okay,
You've got an
I could
educated
take-
right foot, don't you?
Yes. I could take less horsepower and it would weigh the same. So this is, I think for the weight, this is about as much horsepower as I can get. If I added weight, of course, I could get more horsepower.
But can you get the horsepower to the ground?
After a certain speed, yes. Now, in first and second, if I put it to the floor, no. But you have to.
But you couldn't in an
all
original
slow.
Cobra
No,
either.
no,
Yeah.
no.
So
You-
characteristically, the car is relatively Cobra-ish,
yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
But I think substantially more refined because the Cobra was a bit of a brute beast
right,
with
right.
its own weirdness
Right.
of the only time I ever rode in one, I swore
I
I
almost
caught my
died,
feet
yeah.
on fire.
And most of them were 289s. People don't realize that.
Yeah,
The real popular racing ones were the 289s, not
Really?
the 427s. Yeah, the 427 just came out for the street. So
It just
What do I know?
that's all cubic inch bragging
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you could never get the power to
Right.
the ground in
and
that.
it didn't handle very well. There's too much weight up front.
Correct.
So they'd spin around
Yeah.
a lot quicker
And
than the
this engine of
289s.
yours is all aluminum.
No, the Dart block is iron. Or
It's a-
really, I believe so. I'd have to double check that, but it's a Dart Sportsman block, and I believe it's iron.
Aluminum
E-
heads.
aluminum. Everything else is aluminum. Yes,
Right.
but the
Oh, okay.
block itself. I think the block. I looked it up. The block's rated for like 2,500 horsepower. It's
Oh
a
my
racing
gosh.
block. Everything put on there just brings it up to like 500.
Seriously, I thought
So-
for sure that it would be an aluminum block
So
as
that's
well.
that's
I don't
sort of
think
where
so.
the detune comes in with the cast iron block and then everything else aluminum. That would sort of detune the horsepower
Yes.
from
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah. You could take this block, I believe, and add more race duty type parts to it and accessories,
Pair of hair dryers.
and get 2,000 plus horsepower. out
Right,
of it.
right.
Yeah.
To get what
Yeah.
the block is
Right.
actually rated for.
That's right.
Is it carbureted or fuel injected?
Carbureted.
It's still
Oh, wow.
carbureted.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. No, I bought this so I can work on it. I can't work on computerized stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
What do you do for a living?
private equity.
Private equity.
Yeah. So I invest day trading, cycle trading, options, stuff like that.
So if I got, $100 grand, I give it to you and you can make me some dough off of
Well,
my
you can
dough.
make him some dough. You'll still have $100 grand.
No, it's not like that. It's not like that.
Just remember, buy low,
share
sell high.
and share alike.
Yeah.
So
Well,
is that the only car in your collection?
No, I have a couple others, but they're more daily drivers. A
Like?
little newer Lexus. I've got the GSF model, which is a really nice Lexus.
yeah.
I want to get the new IS. They're calling it the IS 500, but it's the ISF as well. So it's a little smaller. It's the little
with
one.
the big engine.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that's interesting that,
And then-
that you like Japanese daily drivers, but you like American horsepower for the fun stuff.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
The torque here is more than the Lexus. The Lexus is dependable, right? Toyota. I mean,
So
we
what?
have-
What?
Yeah, you got to
what,
go to work every day.
Yes.
what
right.
fired your passion to go the Shelby route?
that's a good question because growing up in high school, I was Mopar. So I had Challenger, I had a Roadrunner, I had a Satellite.
A Plymouth
big block.
Satellite.
Yeah, you remember those?
I do.
Okay,
Yes.
so it was a Plymouth Satellite with a 440,
Yes.
850 double pumper, and it was bored out to like a 452.
Oh,
It had
gosh.
500 horsepower, and back then that was,
Yeah,
it
but
was
it also had
monster.
500
That
or
was-
600 foot-pounds of torque.
It did, and it also weighed 5,000 or 6,000 pounds.
So are you listening to this, John Hovis? Because here's a guy after your own heart right here.
You ever been out to Hemi Hideout?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
So I know about it. and-
John's a friend of the show.
Okay.
And we've done the show out there quite
Okay.
a few times.
Yeah, he was
If
watching
you-
earlier,
if
so
you
he
still have
just
a
had to
Mopar
jack with it.
passion.
Yeah.
You've got to.
Yeah,
once
that's
they
what I-
reopen, you've really got.
I think that he
out
has a
there.
Plymouth Satellite out there.
I believe so. I was
Yeah, I
thinking
think
the same
so.
thing.
Well, if it's pearl white, then it's mine.
And you can go on HemiHideout.com and make reservations, and
Okay.
they'll give you dates and stuff. I don't think they're open to the public right now just because of the pandemic and stuff.
Okay.
But it's well worth the trip. It's really just the other side of Katy.
Yeah, I had the
Children?
opportunity a couple of times.
You
Sorry.
have children?
I do.
Teenagers, maybe?
Teenagers, yeah, but
Yeah.
she's not into cars, so doesn't.
Well, but there's enough other
Unfortunately.
stuff out there with the neon signs,
Okay.
tractors. I mean, there's enough stuff
Oh, yeah.
to at least ooh and ah a little bit at.
John's moved away from cars, and now he's into all of this signage and neon signs
Okay.
and porcelain signs.
He's got a soda shop set up, soda fountain and everything.
Yeah,
He's got
it's
some
pretty
really cool stuff
And
out
then
there.
they do, before pandemic, they would almost quarterly they'd have like a club would come out there and they'd kind of open it up to the public.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be usually 3 or 4 clubs.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah. like a little club appreciation thing. But yeah, you get a chance, you could it'd make a nice day trip because it's not that far.
Yeah.
And you know he does welcome Ford Shelby. So
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, the Shelby Club's been out there. I think almost every car club in town has been out there.
Yeah, bring him $100,000. There you go.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sure he'll welcome you then.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, so what brings you out today? How did you find out about the Tailpipes and Tacos cruise-in?
I think it was Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd look at.
Hopefully it was us on Facebook.
I don't know.
Well, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Well, there's a couple of cruising Facebook pages.
Well, I just search for like car shows and stuff
Right.
like that, and quite a few pop up, and so you know, every now and then we pick a couple.
Well, we're under car shows too.
Right, that's what I mean.
We
So
have our own car
You know,
show.
now that I think about it, I think it was you guys that brought me out here.
So
There you go.
Good answer.
Tailpipes and Tacos.
Did you just kind of run across the Corvette and Viper you rode in, or are you guys all friends?
We're friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the purple Corvette, interesting
Yeah.
color.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, is it paint or is it a wrap?
It's a wrap.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that
Yeah.
is a bold colored
Yeah.
purple.
We gave him some
plum
slack for
crazy.
that.
That's plum crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
hot
that
pink,
is.
plum crazy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Didn't they make a cereal that was plum crazy? Something? Some sort of.
Plymouth made a Barracuda.
I know
Yeah.
that. I know that.
I think that was Captain Crunch.
Was that Captain Crunch? I thought it was more
Blueberry.
Count Chocula and
So
Blueberry.
you have of the three of you that rode in together, you kind of have maybe the calmest color of a
Definitely the
of a
calmest
silver,
color, yeah.
'cause,
Yeah.
The green on the Viper is pretty bold as
Yep,
well.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys driving around together kind of attracted just a little bit of attention.
Yeah, we don't drive around too fast.
No, I just mean
Right under the
just
speed
the
limit. You know,
eyeballs.
we accelerate to the speed limit quick, but then we stop.
Yeah, that's
You
it.
know-
Or you
Right
get
to
there.
the
That's what I tell my wife.
Yeah.
I'm not speeding, but I can get there
You know,
really
these
quick.
investor types are just a shade under those politicians. That's all.
They understand the
Yeah.
law.
Gray. It's all gray area.
Are you headed out to Baytown later?
No, I was
Okay.
going to go there yesterday for the
TK2?
TK2. Yeah,
TK20.
Yeah, but no.
Texas.
yeah, the
Whatever it
mile.
is.
I think it's the mile
Yeah.
race, right? Yeah.
No.
the
The
mile
race. roll-
Texas Mile. That's the roll
Next
racing out of
weekend.
Baytown.
Okay,
Texas
that's
Mile is next weekend
Okay.
at Victoria Airport.
Okay.
So it's really close compared to what it used to be when it was all the way out at Goliad. But that's always a fun event to go to as well.
Well, it's competing with this right now, right?
There's nothing.
The
TXT,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
TXT is.
Yeah, kind of. But
It's
not
luckily
really.
it's far
Yeah.
away.
Well, it's
So.
yeah.
It's a little bit different racing.
That's a definite
Yeah.
track event. We're
Right.
more of a come hang out and chat event.
Right.
We're the cool guys.
That's why we're here, right?
Exactly.
That's why we're here.
exactly right. Well, plus
This
the
guy's got the
tacos,
right answers.
the Bloody Marys. Have you had a Bloody Mary
Not
here?
yet.
But the
Bloody
time
Marys
will.
and 500 horsepower might not mix, Don.
But he's got another hour and a half to
That's right,
sober
yeah.
up, so we
And
don't have to worry
mimosas.
about that.
Don't forget about mimosas.
That's right. Those are good.
Mimosas.
So have you cruised around, looked at some of the other cars here?
I have. I'm really impressed too. I mean, there's really a
what are
lot
you
of different
impressed?
cars.
What impresses a guy that owns a Shelby?
The newer sports cars. The technology has come a long way.
long
It
way.
really has. Yeah.
I have a
mean,
21 Corvette.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. That's an 01 Corvette. And it doesn't even compare to one that's 5 years newer.
Right.
The difference is amazing.
I
And
know.
then, so if you just take that and compare that to cars of today, car that's 5 years old, it is the
I know.
one today is
Well,
miles
I
ahead.
think you fully understand that with your Superformance because there is zero technology.
Right.
Well, not zero, but
No, you're
minimal
right. There's
technology
zero.
on that.
Comparatively speaking, it's
Compared to
zero.
anything, it's zero. The only thing electronic are the headlights and the taillights. Everything else is mechanical.
You know, next to the Corvette,
can
which
work
has
on
got
that,
all
yeah.
the smart brain, all the smart driver features on it.
Right.
And I'm not a Viper fresh-minded person, but I know early Vipers had very little
Right.
technology, driver technology on them. The later ones had some, but never evolved to the level of driver technology that they had on the Corvette.
Right.
My biggest thing when I worked for General Motors was I'd always tell people, don't mess with the button. You're not smarter than
Yeah.
the car is, because when you start turning that stuff off, that's when I'll see your car in the body shop
Right.
somewhere.
I was at an FCA event up in at the test track, and they had the Vipers out there, and they were letting
the
us drive
Chelsea
them.
Proving Ground.
Chelsea Proving Ground.
Thank you.
And I, being the smart guy that I am, while I was sitting there waiting for my turn to get onto the track, I turned the traction control off.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
Well, the first turn I kind of semi-drifted around it, but then the third turn I lost it, and they made me
Did you
quit.
go into the weeds?
Nope, didn't go into the weeds, but they made
But
me
he
quit.
never got to drive another one.
That's
That was
exactly
the last
right.
one.
And he got a ticket.
Yeah, in the parking lot on the test track.
Yeah, because they have actually several test tracks at the Chelsea Proving Grounds. One is the great big high-speed oval thing. It's not even an oval. And then there's that other one that's kind of like the road course off to the side that everybody wants to go on, but absolutely no one knows how to drive it,
Nope.
including me.
Yeah.
But I
Well-
did not turn the traction control off. I learned that a
Well,
long
this
time
was
ago.
over in the big parking lot over in the skid area. They dried it up, and they put some cones out there so that you could kind of had a little more
Go
control.
slow, but go
and,
fast.
Well, and if you did do something stupid like turn the traction control off, you really wouldn't hurt anybody or anything.
Other than your pride.
So
Well, yeah.
is there
You
is
get out of
there
a car like this.
are there other Superformance cars in Houston?
Yes.
And do you guys all
Yeah, so we're part of Texas Cobra Club.
okay?
And it's funny you mentioned that because
Do you happen
next
to
week-
know Randy Weldon with the Mustang
I-
Club?
no, well, I might know him by face, but names I'm not.
You
that-
would definitely know Randy Weldon by
Okay,
face.
okay.
Yeah.
So tell us
So-
about the Texas Cobra Club.
So we're actually having a spring meet we have every year in San Marcos, and this is happening next week.
Okay.
We'll be out there Wednesday through Saturday, and right now we have 98 Cobras
oh wow!
that are going to be there.
Tell
Yeah.
me that won't attract attention.
No, it does. It always does.
By
And,
the police.
Well, they love it, right? I mean, most of the cops that we've met are car guys,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah.
mean, they're just that's what they like to do as well. So, as long as you don't act like a fool, they don't care, and they like
Yeah.
them. So
And most guys like you are old
Yeah.
enough, you got that out of your system a long time ago.
No, he
I-
did
I-
not.
I like
well,
to- yeah.
and that or
Well,
he's smart enough
Such
to go out
a
someplace
liar.
else and do it.
I'm not going to say it on air.
Has Mike gotten it out of his
But-
system?
Yeah, the man right over there is listening.
He could
But-
care less.
Yeah, but no, the San Marcos one, it's a big get together. We have Cobras from all over the country come
so
to
it's
that one.
pretty much a national meet.
It is, but it's not advertised as such.
How many true Shelby produced ones will show up?
We've seen
CSX
two.
cars. Okay.
No, these are like the early CSX,
Right,
like the
right.
ones that stay in the trailer until
Yeah.
picture day. They come out, take a picture, and they go back in the trailer.
Oh, yeah,
we've seen a couple of those.
Yeah, and being a fun car, not really. It'd be an interesting car to own, but it wouldn't be a fun car to own.
No, I'd be
it'd
worried
be so
about-
much better
yeah.
to drive it because
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
worry about somebody leaning on it,
Right.
and all of a sudden they've
That's right.
dented it.
So,
Oh, gosh, get away from my car.
Well, it's great talking to you. We
Well,
really
thanks.
appreciate you stopping by
Yeah,
and talking to us.
beautiful car.
Yeah. Is this your first Tailpipes and Tacos?
no,
No?
I've been
How,
here.
how did we manage to miss you?
I don't know.
You were hiding?
I don't know.
You were handing
walking
out
around. I
yeah,
don't know.
you were handing out cards in the parking lot?
Yeah. No.
Business cards in the parking lot? No?
No, I don't. Usually we get here
Y'all
a
got
little
here
later.
early
yeah,
this morning.
Today was early.
Yeah, you guys got here real
but
early.
normally we're here, I think, a little later,
And we're
and
already on
maybe
the air.
you guys are already doing your thing. So we just missed you up until now.
Yeah.
So
Well,
You're
beautiful-
lost.
You have a beautiful car.
well, thank you very
Great
much.
story behind it as
Thanks.
well.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that, so I thought that was
Yeah.
cool.
Very good. Very good. What do we know about Shelby's? I didn't know anything about
Well,
that.
About its Superformance.
Yeah.
yeah, super
say that
performance.
right?
Yeah, super performance.
Finally.
You got it.
All right. Well, thanks again. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you next time.
Yep.
All right. Very good.
Thanks.
All right. Time now for the events calendar.
Well,
Conrad has that.
tonight, and I'm sure David's son Ryan will be going. The
Yep.
Kima Car Meet, 6 p.m. tonight. It's a very good, very active show. They're there all the time.
And they're not killing people afterwards.
Well, they behave. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., the Houston Head Turners Street Cruise at the AMC Gulf Point movie theaters.
Gulf Point.
Yeah, Gulf Point. So like 610 and 45-ish area.
That's Gulf Gate.
Okay, well, Gulf Point. I don't know. AMC Gulf Point 30.
Come on. No.
No. And
Gulf
then
Gate.
5 p.m. tomorrow night's the All-American Muscle show at the Kroger's on 99 east of 45 and Spring. And then Sunday night is Freddy's Steak Burgers at 1960 in Eldridge. Wednesday night will be Freddy's Steak Burger in Katy. Friday night will be Freddy Steak Burgers on Kirkendall in 2920.
Freddy Steak Burgers.
They're real active in the car community.
Yeah.
They host pretty much all
They've
of
never
their
invited
shows.
us to anything.
No, not yet. March
Why
20
not?
I
You
don't know.
seem to have the connection there.
March 26th through the 28th is the Texas Mile down at the Chase Field Industrial Airport Complex in Beeville. I'm sorry, I said Victoria. They moved to Beeville. They were in Victoria last
That's
year.
not too
Beeville
far.
has an airport?
Yep.
Okay.
And industrial complex. And then on March 27th, the Cletus and Cars, Texas.
That's my event
at Houston
there.
Raceway.
Yeah,
So if you had
Cletus
a
and
Bates,
Cars.
Cletus
Is
and Cars.
that Cletus McFarland?
Yep.
Oh man, he's going to be in town. We need to. When is that?
Next Saturday.
And it's 11 a.m. Right after we get off the air. Well, how can he come here? He can't come here because he's going to be there.
He's going to be setting up over there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should go there.
Maybe
for
we
their
should, but we
setup,
weren't
or
invited.
Maybe we could get him to zoom in from there.
Maybe.
And then also on Saturday.
It's up to you.
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
It's your charge this week
You're
to
our
do that.
Zoomy.
Had to open my mouth, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Also next Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. is Hot Wheels and Heroes at Second Baptist Church West Campus, the campus out here on Katy Freeway.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Ooh, look at that beautiful car right there.
Yep.
It was
Is that like a 40
yeah,
Ford?
it was parked next to the
No,
40.
I'd say that's probably a late 40s Chevy.
Oh, really?
He was parked next to the first gentleman.
Well, that's the body
Next to
style
the
that used to
DeSoto.
run at Meyer Speedway.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars had a chance to review the 2021 Mazda hashtag,
Mazda.
and I'll let
Yeah.
you explain
Okay.
that.
So fat fingers hit the shift key, and so it's the Mazda 3. Okay, so it's a 2021 Mazda 3 Premium Plus all-wheel drive. Now this is a small hatchback, if you want to call it that, and I found it interesting to learn that the hatch has a different size. It's literally a different size than the Mazda 3 sedan. You can get a sedan or you can get a hatchback, and it's about 8 inches shorter than the sedan is. I'm not sure what these guys over here are doing. The sedan is 8 inches shorter than the hatch. Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is going to take some editing.
Yeah, we have to do a little editing on this one.
No, I moved the screen. It was
Those people at Mazda will love it.
there,
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
lost
All
the
right,
picture.
let's start over.
So-
I lost the
You
picture,
drove a
Mike.
Mazda 3.
I lost the picture, Mike.
Oh my gosh. We're all having fun now. So, again, we're talking about the 2021 Mazda 3 Premium Plus all-wheel
lost the
drive
picture.
small hatchback. It's available. You can get the Mazda 3 in a sedan or a hatchback. We had the hatchback. It's actually 8 inches shorter than the sedan, which I thought was real interesting. So on the exterior, we're talking about we have LED lighting all around up front, the automatic on and off with the adaptive headlights, the tail lights. We had the black side mirrors on our vehicle, and it's sitting on top of a soul red paint. And this is a bright red paint that's just absolutely gorgeous. It's an extra option. You got to pay a little bit for that. Had the front air dam. We had the black car hatch spoiler that's on it. I mean, the black hatch spoiler. And power moonroof. We were rolling on the 18-inch black alloy wheels. So you got this bright red car with a lot of black trim on it.
Awesome.
It's really a pretty car. Now, we roll into the interior, and we had the leather seating. The front seats are heated. The 60/40 rear seat folds down. And it actually has an armrest and console with cup holders, which to some people is very important to have cup holders in the rear seat. And we had up front, we had the 8.8-inch color display. Now, Mazda has their display kind of sitting on top of the dash, which is a little bit different. It's not really built into it, but it's part of it. And included all your convenience controls, had the 360-degree monitor. Now, this particular display, it has down on the console, it's got a touchpad where it's kind of like a touch mouse that you can control things and move them around. Also behind the rear seat, we had the cargo cover so you can keep things out of sight, out of mind. And for the sound system, we had the Bose premium audio system with 12 speakers to kind of work out of that Mazda Connect infotainment system that's in that vehicle. The other thing I found out that the hatchback, one of the things I like about the hatchback is the storage in the back of it. The sedan, the Mazda 3 sedan, has 13.0 cubic feet of storage in the trunk space. Whereas the hatchback, when you lift it up, you can actually get 20 cubic feet in there, so it's considerably more storage
usable.
available. Yeah.
My
And
next door neighbor bought one for his daughter, and it's white, I'll tell you, the white with the black trim on that is stunning.
Oh, I'll bet.
It really looks good.
Because
Such a
things
good
are almost
contrast.
white pearls that they're putting on things
Right.
nowadays. So up under the hood, we had the new 2.5-liter turbo engine. Now, the one that we had, this particular model had 227 horsepower and with 310 pound-feet of torque. There is an optional 250-horse turbo, 2.5-liter turbo, both of which would be backed by the 6-speed automatic. Now, I will tell you the 227 horse was more than ample for this little vehicle. I mean, it pushed it around and do just about, you want to feel sporty, you drive it like it's a little sports car, put it in sport mode, and get after it. So with the 250, I'm sure that would be just a lot more fun.
Yep.
Now, the EPA says you should be looking for 23 miles to the gallon in the city, 31 on the highway, and combined 26. I did get 25 out of it.
That's
It
pretty
was-
good
yeah,
considering
it
you're a
was-
lead foot.
Well, it was a fun little driver, and you just didn't really need to keep your foot off into it because it's got plenty of torque, but it's not like, having a big block in there or anything. So it's got the really zippy performance. It's got the iActive 4-wheel drive with a dynamic stability control, so it handled and drove really nice. It is a smaller car, so it's a nice little firm ride, but it's nothing out of the top of the world. If you're looking for a competitor, you might look at the Volkswagen GTI or a Toyota Corolla, Honda Civic. There's a bunch of them in this category, in this segment, that you can look at and compare it to. Now, you can get a base Mazda 3 2.5S that we were driving, the hatchback, for $22,650. Now, the Mazda 2.5 Turbo with a Premium Plus package all-wheel drive base is at $23,750, and MSRP is out at $35,415 for a pretty well-equipped little car.
A little hot hatch.
It's a hot hatch. I mean, nobody uses that term anymore, but that's exactly what it is.
Well, good luck on those editing skills. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcasts, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Amazon, and Podcast Addict, among others. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, April 17th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 17th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, April 17th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy, weather permitting.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's In Wheel Time, your go-to all things automotive place. Today, coming to you live from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In out here at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on 99, the Grand Parkway, and Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us on this Saturday. Hey, wanted to tell you, or remind you a couple of things that are coming up. April the 3rd is opening race day out at Houston Motorsports Park. That's the Roundy Round race, the 3/8 mile, and
Gulf Coast Racing Series.
that's right. And Gina Scheil Knowles will be on our show next week. She's going to tell us all about that. And also wanted to let you know that the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil are coming your way May the 21st through the 23rd in the Houston suburb of Baytown. Get your tickets now. Well, Mr. Mars, who do you got over there in the hot seat?
Last year we were here. We talked to this gentleman before, and he's got such an interesting collection of cars. He's rolling out here in this 68 Bel Air that came rolling up.
Yeah, I heard
with
it.
this monster 307. That's what it says.
It looked
on the side of it. It's like a 307.
307. It sounded like, a 497 is what it sounded like.
Yeah, well, I'm going to let Gary Bartlett tell us about his vehicle here.
Gary, so apparently it sounds like a bit bigger than it really is.
Yeah, it's a three. Well, by NASCAR rules, it's a 358 cubic inch
Yeah.
NASCAR Cup engine, an SB 2.2.
It's a NASCAR engine. Oh, my God. Well, dude, it sounds like a NASCAR engine.
It's been detuned.
Detuned in what
Yeah.
way?
A little smaller cam and dropped the compression ratio from 14 to 1 to 12 to, or to 10 to 1.
Well, that's good. So you can
Make
use
it
pump,
drivable in
yeah, I was
street.
going to say you can
Pump gas.
use some pump gas in it.
Yeah, it's marginal, but yes.
Yeah.
So what?
And you better have a tanker behind you.
What kind of gas mileage you get in it?
Yeah, I think
Who
6,
cares?
maybe.
Yeah.
6. Oh, okay.
It makes peak power at 7,800 RPMs.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. God.
Peak torque at 6,400, so it's in a sweet spot at 6.
What kind of gear you running on the rear?
450.
That's just to keep it in the sweet spot, though,
Oh yeah,
right?
9-inch Ford.
9-inch Ford rear end.
So what compelled you to build this car?
I didn't build it. I bought it.
You
at,
bought it.
I bought it at Kissimmee
Okay.
this spring, and it just kept talking to me.
Is
So-
this at the Mecum auction?
Yeah, and I looked at it for 8 days, and when it came up on
bid.
the block, I was sitting on my hands, and I lost control.
Just reflex.
Reflex.
and
So anyway, I bought
did you
it.
drive it back?
Oh shit, no!
Pull this up a little closer.
It's got a 4,000 stall converter in it.
Oh,
I mean, it's totally impractical.
But you know
But
what?
it's fun.
It's a
but fun.
hoot. It's a hoot.
It's a
I'll
hoot
bet
to
it
drive.
is. I'll bet you're fun at some of these kid get-togethers that they have around town.
What's
Have you taken to any of those?
No,
No?
it's been to nothing. I mean, it was an unfinished project. The story behind it was actually built in the Morgan McClure Motorsports
Oh wow.
shop in Abingdon, Virginia,
Uh-huh.
Pretty impressive
by,
group building the car.
by
yeah.
Larry McClure. And
And he just built it because he didn't have anything
well,
to
he
do
had
one
several,
weekend.
He had several
Projects?
several cars that
Yeah.
and this is a little bit unfinished.
But I know, but that to me, that's part of the attractiveness of the car.
Well, you aren't paying the bills.
Well, no, I'm not.
And he's not volunteering to either.
No, I'm not. But do you not find that attractive? The fact that it is kind of a little rough around the edges?
Well, what they did very well. I mean, it's a frame off, rust-free car.
And a Bel Air, where typically most people are going Impala, and the Impala's got a little bit more of the fastback look to it, where the Bel Air's got more of the
Kind of a dropped off.
yeah. I don't want to call it a notchback, but more of a conventional rear glass of it.
Well, the two cheap versions were the Biscayne and the Bel
And
Air.
the Bel Air.
And primarily the difference between the two is an upgraded interior, upgraded seat covers basically, and they went to carpet instead of rubber, so
Yeah.
it's not.
You don't find that attractive? What are you going to do? You going to fix it all up?
Well, it doesn't need a lot. The brakes. The brakes scared me. The way they had it set up was because the engine makes no vacuum.
Right.
So, what?
You
The second time I tried a hard stop,
It didn't.
well, no, I blew the stop sign. But anyway, and sucked some holes in the seat. But anyway, I went to a hydro boost system, got rid of the vacuum.
Right.
They had auxiliary vacuum pump. It just didn't make enough vacuum.
Right.
So
So you
anyway,
put the Willwood Hydro Boost, or
Yeah,
is this
yeah.
one right off a truck?
no, this is the
Willwood.
Willwood.
See,
Anyway,
I guess what
what-
attracts me to it is this is a car that my generation growing up and in high school, that's something that we would have aspired to.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was raw, but it had tons of power and could burn the rear tires off of it at a New York minute.
yeah, you can still get a 427 in those things, and
Back then, yeah.
but this thing is. I haven't done a lot to it. I'm trying to figure out how to put AC on it, but I'm not sure I can keep a belt on it. Right?
Well, there is
Yeah,
that.
that kind of RPM.
But I mean, do you really want AC in it? See, that's part of the attraction.
We'll ask you in August.
Yeah, well, I will have tried and either succeeded or failed. Right?
Well, I'll bet you a phone call to Vintage Air would solve that
some
Well,
problem.
I've already got the compressor. I just got to figure out how to
How to
How
run
to
it.
turn
it
it
on there.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd
there's
look at an
Is
electric
it,
motor or
is it single
something.
V-belts or is it serpentine?
it's single groove V-belts.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'd look for an electric motor to drive that thing.
I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it like it was built as much as I can.
Absolutely.
You know, it's got 3-inch exhaust all the way back, and it's noisy as heck. And
Yeah,
So
we,
you-
Oh, it
we heard
sounded
you come
great.
in.
It was
kinda-
gorgeous.
It definitely drew all of our attention as
I
you
mean,
drove
the heads are phenomenal. You know, guys that and you can still buy the SB 2.2s from a couple places, and they use some used and some used and some new components. But the guys that buy them for drag racing, they use an aftermarket block to in 440 cubic inches or so, because those heads
Flow that well.
so much. You know, they're high dollar heads.
Listen, that car just sings to me.
It
Just
does.
like it did to you at the Mecum auction.
Well-
And that hand came out from underneath your butt going, I'll take that.
Stupid.
Well, yeah, it was, but it's okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Totally
I'm not-
unique car.
Do you have any other cars in your collection?
Well, I got a '67 Impala that you saw the last time, the one with the LS6 in it.
Oh, yeah.
He went to Louisiana and got it.
Yeah.
That was my Natchitoches buy.
And?
We had it here. I've still got my '78 Malibu, and I've still a wagon, and I've still got my '71 GMC Sprint.
See, this,
GMC Sprint.
but this is the car.
GMC's version
that's
of the
my-
El Camino.
That's my Ralph and Son Sprint.
Okay.
So anyway.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think we spoke to you about that.
Yeah, we did.
Chickasha, Oklahoma.
Chickasha, Oklahoma. And
So
it's-
you don't have a problem at all going out of town for finding what you want.
only my wallet restricts me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
we all
isn't-
do
it isn't good sense.
There is not a car out here that it makes sense financially. Really.
Oh,
Oh, they all do.
Well, you justify stuff.
That's right.
That's right. That's
And the
it.
older you get, the weaker you get, I think.
Correct. Yeah. And I mean, you only go around once, so let's just go for it.
Yeah.
But-
this car was actually parked in 2010. Was built 2009, 2010. I've got the engine build information. I got the book. Teddy McClure, Larry McClure's brother, actually oversaw the engine build. So I've got all the specs on the engine. I've got the.
Well, that's rare, though.
I
You
got
normally
the,
don't get that.
I know it makes 675 to the wheels.
Wow.
And you sit here and you look out there at that car. It is so straight, and it's got meat under the back of it. It's not really tubbed, I don't guess, because there's not that much meat there. But it
No.
just looks like it looks like the trunk ought to be full of moonshine, and you ought to be hooking them down the highway.
I kept the 15-inch wheels that were on it. And they're old school American racing wheels.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
And you
Looks
can
good.
only get so much tire under it anyway. I mean, 275, 50, 15s. But they go with the car. They just
Right.
fit.
They fit. They fit the.
They just fit.
And it's not a car that you're going to show up somewhere and see another one. I mean,
that's for sure.
Not just in the modifications you've done to it, but a '68 Bel Air you're just not going to see brought to a show in most cases, unless it's a super Chevy show or something like that.
It's fun, and I'm probably 8 or 10 grand away from getting it done.
Well, let me just say this. It may not be finished to you, but it drew our attention to the point that you're back on the car show with us.
Oh, I'd get in and drive it, but it's not. It's noisy as hell.
I know.
On the inside?
Oh, yeah.
I think on the inside.
I mean, it's got solid motor mounts, and it's not.
Solid motor mounts.
It's rough
it's
around
the
the
motors
edges.
bolted to the frame.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There's no isolation.
It's rough around the edges. It's something that we would have built back in high school.
Oh yeah.
And here we are at our age going, I'll go that route again. Absolutely. And my buddy Ross Putnam with the 55 Chevy and the race engine that was in it, it was bolted to the frame. The car was
With a
red, but the
chain.
whole front end was flat black. The interior, flat black. No carpets, no nothing. Didn't even have a roll bar in it, although that was
Probably
in the
painted
plans.
with a rattle can, too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It
Yeah.
was definitely rough around the edges. But oh, my gosh, the sound that came out of that car, mwah, it was sweet, baby. That's the kind of stuff that was fun.
That's what we
Yeah,
did. You
I had
put
a-
all your money in the motor.
I had
Right.
I had a '67 Barracuda fastback with a punched out 440 and
Oh, my
4-speed
gosh.
and fender well headers, and well, that's about as practical as that one.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
And a really stiff clutch, and every time my wife drove it, when she shifted, she'd disappear under the dash. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that left thigh was twice as big as the right one.
She said, "Don't make me drive that thing."
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's the fun stuff. I mean, that's what to me that's what hot rodding and cruise-ins and fun on a Saturday night at the drag strip is all about.
Yeah.
That's why you bring it out to an event like this, because it's not just us who've been attracted to it, because it's parked right in front of us. We've watched so many people stand around that car and look at it.
Well, they can't figure out whether it's a big block or a small block, and they think, well, it's got different heads. Well, yeah, it does.
No, there's something different
So
about
has it got stock valve covers on it?
It's
I
got
mean-
stock SB 2.2s. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a motor they pulled off the line.
Well, I thought that the paint job was rougher than that. The paint job looks
paint
pretty
job
darn
is
good
No,
to
no.
me.
It's very straight.
No,
Looks very good.
That car is as nice underneath as it is on top.
Wow. Yeah. Of course, when you pulled in this morning, it was a little dark.
Well,
And I had a Bloody Mary already, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a couple when I get done here.
Okay.
and,
but anyway,
and everything you drive by rattles when that car drives by.
it's loud.
But what I like about it, it's subtle. It's not.
It's
You know-
as subtle as a sledgehammer.
Well, I mean,
It's
as long
subtle
as
when it's parked.
But till you
That's what I'm
start.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
When it's
Yeah.
running and in motion, it's not very subtle.
No.
but it's not like that red 57 sitting next to it.
When you pass somebody doing 80 and they're looking,
Yeah. That sounds like something
then-
that I
then they
heard on
tail you,
Sunday
and then they
afternoon
pull up
on
alongside
CBS.
and
Yeah.
all that crap. Anyway.
Yeah.
No.
Well, tons of fun.
Yep.
Yeah, and we want to hang with you more, so you can invite us over to the garage any Saturday that you want, and we'll come out there and we'll do a. Yeah, exactly. We'll
That's right.
zoom in.
We can do that.
Yeah, please do
We ought
that.
to do that.
All right.
In fact,
So please do that. Hey,
Hey,
thank
before
you.
you
We
get
really
going-
appreciate it. All right. Let me look at my notes. I don't even know where we are. Let's see.
It's
8:45.
we're at Tailpipes and Tacos in Katy, Texas.
Thank you.
Not on the
Thank-
Katy Freeway, but
thank-
in Katy, Texas.
Thank you, Mike.
For all of you that may think we're on the Katy Freeway,
Thank you,
we're
Mike.
not on the Katy Freeway.
No, we're not on the Katy Freeway. We're in Katy, Texas. We're on
And
99, the
and
Grand
people really have to-
Parkway.
one of these days, people will understand why we focus on that, because Don had a date who Ubered to the wrong Lupe Tortillas.
Yeah, on the
And-
Katy
and
Freeway.
boy, was Don in trouble when
That's
she got
right.
here.
And you know what? I don't think I've spoken to her since. She was pissed.
Yes, you
The,
have.
the damned Uber bill
Yeah,
was
but you
like
ain't spoke to her
$85.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, there's that. Hey, I want to remind you that Gulf Coast Racing Series, Roundy Round, asphalt racing at its best, Saturday night, April 3rd at Houston Motorsports Park. And tickets are on sale for the 34th annual Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil. May 21st through the 23rd, we will be there.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. Thank you, Seth Angel, for inviting us back. I don't know why he keeps inviting us back, but he did, and we're going to go. So there's that. And in addition to that, we are going to have a special Friday broadcast prior to the NHRA race
That's right.
at the Houston Auto Show. Yes, it's going to happen this year, which was a surprise to everybody, I think.
Yes.
And it's going to happen on Friday, May the 21st.
That's when our show will be there.
That's when our show will be there. It will be open the 19th through the 23rd.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're going to do a special broadcast on that Friday, the 21st. And then on the 22nd, we're going to go out to the drag race, the NHRA Spring Nationals out in Baytown. at Houston Raceway Park.
Road trip.
Road trip. Two road trips back to back, Friday and a Saturday. Oh my God. That Friday is going to be noon, I think, is what we're shooting for. On
Noon
that.
to 3.
Noon to 3.
So you have to be there, David.
Please, we're begging you.
We're begging you.
Because it's going to be craziness. Because we got to pack it all up, all this remote stuff.
Now, where is this? Where's the physical
George R.
location?
Brown.
George,
Yeah.
no,
Brown.
no.
I don't know.
No, it's over there at where the football.
NRG Center.
NRG. That's it.
NRG.
Oh, I'm
NRG
sorry.
Center.
I've got the right place in my head. The wrong place came out of my mouth.
Okay.
That's been known to
Center.
happen before.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's not the only thing.
Hey.
All right.
So, and then we got Tailpipes and Tacos coming up again next month.
Next
on the
month.
third
That's
Saturday.
on the 17th. Yeah. I have some features that I've been kind of saving up, and I'll let you guys pick. I have 3 to choose from. We have, which one of these 4 early 60s compacts would you choose for your dream garage? Or 5 tips for keeping your garage organized. Or OBS, Task Force, GMT, Square Body, your guide to keeping GM full-size pickup nicknames straight. So which one of the 3 would you like?
Compact cars.
Compact cars.
Because I imagine that's going to be I haven't read your article, but
Well, it's not my article. This is from Hemmings.
Falcon, Nova, or Chevy 2, and Valiant or Dart.
Valiant.
Valiant.
I knew somebody that had a Valiant, and he was embarrassed to drive it. It was his mother's hand-me-down in high school.
They were the most perfect beaters because it didn't matter what you did, you could not hurt that slant 6.
The only thing you could do is total the car, pretty much. So, most of Detroit's manufacturers had a long habit of thinking big. Big cars with big cabins that offered a plethora of plush accommodations. There were others. There were others, though, who tried to fill a niche market for decades, offering compact cars with utilitarian passenger compartments at an attractive, affordable price. Compact cars, however, were viewed more as a novelty or a not-so-necessary second car for confined city dwellers. Mom. That is until the recession of 1957 hit. Suddenly, economy in purchase price, optional costs, and maintenance seemed like a smart move, coupled with a growing number of sales attained by the smaller, sprightly cars from overseas. The Curiosities became mainstream models, and more than one manufacturer decided it was time to take a second look at the segment. So, Hemmings did this for us, and we appreciate it. How about the 1962 Rambler convertible, costing $2,344 new, or $20,000 today.
It's a Rambler, wasn't that the ad?
Yeah, it came with a standard fuel-sipping but sprightly 90 horsepower, 195 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine, and 3-speed manual transmission. Price today, $16,900.
Oh gosh,
believe it or not. A Rambler today. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Or how about, let's see, there's another one here. How about Buick, Olds, and Pontiac? The compacts arrived in 61, all based on a modified Corvair chassis. Oldsmobile called its interpretation the F85.
And you could actually get an F85 in 61 and 62 with a turbocharged, alcohol-injected V8. All aluminum V8.
My buddy Ross Putnam, the guy that had the 55 Chevy I was telling you about earlier, well, his mom's hand-me-down was the Buick-designed version of that.
And that had the 215 V8 in it
215 V8. Good for 185 horsepower in the Cutlass. Cost then $2,694.
And with the turbocharger, it put out 215. I did not realize. I just learned something that was built off the
Corvair chassis.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
But I do know that the Pontiac version, the Tempest, had a rear transaxle in it where the Buick and Oldsmobile had a transmission bolted to the back of the engine, where the Pontiac version, it had independent rear suspension and a rear transaxle. Do you know why I know that?
Because you had one.
No. What was the My Cousin Vinny? Remember the movie My Cousin Vinny? And it was leaving the Positrack streaks on the end? That was,
well, you can buy that at auction today for about $16,000. How about, here you go, John Hovis, I hope you're listening. The 1960 Dart, the Dodge Dart. It helped wrangle over 306,000 buyers.
Wow.
And having watched Plymouth corral over 194 compact car consumers with its also new for 1960 Valiant.
Well, the first year of that car, the Plymouth version, Plymouth had planned on naming it the Falcon, but Ford beat it to the trademark licensing for their Ford Falcon. And the first year, I don't even think they had a name for it. It didn't come out with the Valiant until the second year
Let's
of production.
not forget the 1961 Lancer 770. Oh, God. I had a friend of mine. It was his mother's hand-me-down. What a POS. Motivating the Lancer was the venerable 170 cubic inch slant 6.
Yep.
And it had, I think, a push
button automatic.
Yep. You can buy that car today for about $19,000. Well, that was a trip down memory lane.
Well,
Hope
but you left
enjoyed
out the
that.
Ford Falcon.
Well, it's
Ford
not in here.
Well, that's unusual because the Ford Falcon was...
Well, this, you got 4 cars. Pick 4. This guy picked 4. I just read 4. And yes, I agree with you. The Falcon.
Ford Falcon would have been
The Ford
definitely one to
Falcon,
include.
was the original Mustang.
The chassis was 64.5 Mustang.
Correct.
And then you get the Chevy 2 back then as well. So there was
Dude,
more than just those 4.
I know, and most people don't believe that. That car is the Ford Mustang. Yes, that's it. So,
and the Ford Falcon back in those days, you could actually get the 289 in it as well. I don't know if you can get the hypo in it, but I knew you can get it.
No,
get the
no,
V8
not
in
in '64. There wasn't anything. You had the 289 regular 289 2-barrel,
and that was their Ranchero chassis as well.
Yes, it was. I forgot about that. Yep. Okay, time now for some of the stories making news headlines this week. Speaking of Ford, this is the no chips story.
Oh, gosh. What a nightmare this is.
Well, Ford Motor Company has begun building some 150 pickups and Edge crossovers without certain electronic modules due to the ongoing semiconductor shortage and parts disruptions following last month's severe winter weather. Automakers said it would build and hold affected vehicles for a number of weeks, then ship them to dealers once modules are available, and it can finish comprehensive quality checks. Sure, that's what it is.
That's the right place to get the quality check.
The F-150 pickup redesigned for the 2021 model year is the nation's top-selling vehicle and a key profit driver, needless to say,
Ford, trucks.
for the automaker. It's built at plants in Michigan and Missouri. News comes the same week GM announced it was building certain 2021 light-duty full-size pickup trucks without a fuel management module, hurting those vehicles' fuel economy performance.
And that's that active fuel management, so that's the where the cylinder cancellation system.
Additionally, Ford Thursday said it was canceling the Thursday evening shift as well as both Friday shifts at the Louisville assembly plant. The factory builds the Ford Escape and Lincoln Corsair crossovers.
And
this chip thing is, people don't really take it seriously, but it's serious. Every manufacturer across the globe is having to cut production, which means that you're not going to have what you normally would see on a dealership lot for sale.
Correct.
You're just not going to be there.
And that's going to impact their income, and it's got all the manufacturers scared chipless.
And they're chipless. Good. I like that. 2 small niche auto brands scored top marks in the industry's major dealer service satisfaction survey. Compact car maker Mini scored the highest among mass market brands in J.D. Power's 2021 U.S. Customer Service Index study released Thursday. Among luxury brands, Porsche grabbed the top spot, reclaiming the segment crown from Lexus. Despite a year of operating challenges and disruptions that roiled the industry, consumers' overall satisfaction with dealer service visits actually rose 10 points. The J.D. Power report found the improvement occurred as stay-at-home orders during the coronavirus pandemic tapped the brakes on service lane traffic.
Well, and a lot of dealers changed their processes for service drive traffic and how they handled customers, including home pickup and deliveries.
While nearly all luxury brands saw an uptick in satisfaction scores this year, Hyundai Motor Company's Genesis brand accelerated the fastest, up 30 points from its debut on the CSI list last year. Alfa Romeo, which also made it onto the list for the first time last year, trailed the pack, rising 5 points with a score of 797. The CSI study assesses consumer satisfaction with service at franchise dealers or independent service facilities for maintenance or repair work in 1 to 3 year old vehicles that are owned or leased. Okay. Well, that's it for this segment of In Wheel Time. Quick break now. You're on the In Wheel Time show. More after this quick break.
Tailpipes Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, April 17th for Tailpipes Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 17th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, April 17th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy, weather permitting. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? You found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to onhold.net.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk. This is the In Wheel Time Car Show. Today, coming to you from the monthly Tailpipes and Tacos cruise-in at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, Texas. Just ahead, we talk to more of today's cruise-in participants. We'll have a review of our new car of the week, the Kia Telluride, a look at the growing cruise-in calendar, this week in auto history, and the stories making auto news headlines. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, March 20th, 2021. Howdy along with Mike out of this world Mars and King Conrad DeLong. And let's not forget Jeff Zekin and the always popular Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us today. Mr. Mars, you've changed positions.
Well, I did because
you're
I wanted
looking
to make some
strange.
room.
You've acted range. What?
I wanted to make room for our next guest here because they have got a very unique vehicle out here, and he's got some things on that thing that are kind of truly unbelievable. But this is Randy Savage and his co-pilot,
Randy
Abraham.
Savage, wait a minute. Weren't you a wrestler at one time in your life?
I'm the other guy.
The other one.
He's the other.
The other one. You're the twin.
I'm the one still alive.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is his co-pilot, Abraham.
Yep.
Abraham,
Yeah.
good to see you.
And so Abraham was sitting behind the wheel of that 28 Model A Roadster out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So I was going to let Randy kind of tell us a little bit more about that one.
Well, Randy, let's hear about it. 28 Roadster.
28 Model A Roadster pickup.
How long have you had this?
I've had it probably about 10 years, but
Yeah?
it only has about 10 miles on it since we got it going.
So you've been working on it for 10 years?
Probably steadily the last 5. But it's been a future project put back, and I got told by my wife I needed to have it ready for my son's wedding last weekend in Galveston.
And this one here is the one that's getting married?
No.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
He's just a co-pilot today.
Oh, okay.
Co-pilot.
All right.
But anyway, so we were kind of thrashing on it for about the last 6 months, trying to finish it, get it together, and running enough for him to use in the wedding.
Now, I assume that this 28 Roadster does not have the original motor in it.
It does not. It has a little aluminum-headed small block Chevrolet in it.
All the way to go.
You're right, with 2 4-barrel carburetors, an intake on it that my best friend gave me as a wedding present.
Love those.
You're right. 35 years ago.
Yeah, so you've had to make it work today.
I've had parts for a while.
Yeah.
And they finally get to all come together.
Gotcha.
But,
so you stuck with the carburetors as opposed to going to the fuel injection on this.
Right.
And because the only reason I bring it up is because I've become, thanks to Conrad, a big fan of fuel injection, but the fuel injection systems that look like carburetors.
Right.
Because they fit
Right.
on an old school manifold.
Correct.
So you decided not to do that.
Yeah, I'm still old school, so we're still playing with the carburetors.
We're all old school.
Boy, you got that right.
Yeah.
But anyway, we stuck with the old carburetors, and we're going to play with it some that way till we can't stand it
What size
anymore.
carburetors you got on?
Little old 600.
Okay, well that's plenty
Carters.
with two duals. Yes.
Right.
Carter carburetors.
Carter carburetors.
Yeah.
But anyway, the old intake that's on it is a Mickey Thompson cross ram.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Talk about old school.
Yeah, they haven't made those in a while.
Yeah.
But
so you've been storing these old parts, or did you find them recently?
some stuff I've come by recently, but it's one of those deals that when you see something at a swap meet, you pick it up and buy it for a future project. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be a future project, and that's what that one is.
So can you describe to them that, I'm not sure I could describe appropriately, that linkage setup you got for that cross ram? I mean, Holleys are pretty standard, but, you had to do some fabrication there.
Yeah, they make a linkage kit for it, and I didn't like how it looked, and I wound up using a old hand drill that looks like an egg beater on it.
The wooden handles there and the gear.
So, it is about the look.
Right.
I mean, let's face it. I haven't seen the car, but I assume that all the engine is exposed.
Yeah, it's all exposed, and it's all about functionality. You got to
functionality and look.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you got to dress it right.
Absolutely, and it all seemed to go together and flow together, so it works good.
I love it.
Amazingly.
Yeah.
Fender well headers that kind of come down in some side pipes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, have you had the thing on a dyno yet?
No, not yet.
No.
Not yet.
So you could kind of probably guess what the horsepower would be in that.
Yeah, I'm probably going to say about 450.
Well, more than enough.
More than enough for a roadster pickup.
Yeah. Did you build the engine yourself?
Yeah.
You did.
Did.
So you obviously put some sort of a cam in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bumped up the cam a bit.
Got a little bit of a cam in it, a little bit of a lope.
Yep.
All that kind of fun stuff, like say aluminum heads.
Well, you've been at this long enough that
Right.
you should have all of that.
Right, absolutely.
Unless there are many a Saturday and Sunday laying on the couch watching TV.
Yeah, we don't get many of those, so we just work on cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and transmission?
It's got a 5-speed standard shift transmission, one of the NV 3500 transmissions in it.
Got it. And as far as the rear end is concerned?
9-inch Ford.
9-inch Ford with what kind of gears?
420.
420.
Yeah. Well, we have the overdrive to help.
I was going to say
compensate,
because without that, we would be looking at 4 or 5 miles to the gallon.
It probably not much better than that anyway.
Yes.
But
Well, your buddy over here with the Bel Air, he just told us that he's getting, with his NASCAR engine that he's got in that thing, about 7 miles to the gallon. So we don't worry too much. The trick to that is you just don't drive it as much.
Well, and it's miles to the gallon more than miles to the gallon.
That's exactly
so
right. And once you've got a full tank of Smiles,
Right.
that's it for this week.
That's it.
Let's go
Exactly.
work on it some more, and
Right.
maybe we can get a couple of more miles per gallon.
Exactly.
So have you got any other plans for it? Or have you reached the end of the road on on repairs and modifications?
It's kind of end of the road. We just got a few things we need to iron out, a couple of problems on and issues, and other than that, just drive it, have fun.
What are the problems and issues?
Got a couple little oil leaks and stuff
And you built the engine?
Not on the engine, transmission.
Oh.
It has a
because in
junkyard.
my world, you've always got to blame it on somebody else.
Yeah, somebody else. Anyway.
Yeah, the wife did it. She backed it into the garage. Something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's got a junkyard transmission in it, and some of those things you don't know until you use it. So
right.
And so little problems are popping up.
But, I mean, on a standard transmission?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that it would be too big of an issue.
No.
And especially on a
it
car like that.
Depends on what's leaking, because if it's the input shaft seal, you got to pull the transmission to get to it.
But on a car like that, it's not the end of the world.
It's kind of a funny, strange leak. It's leaking out of the yoke and the transmission, out of the weep hole in the yoke.
Oh, yeah, that is a weird spot.
That is
for
a
it
real
to leak.
one. And it's higher than the fill plug, and it's not over full.
Well.
See, nobody but me.
I
know.
I'm sitting there going, what?
You all look baffled.
Is there a vent on it?
Yes.
Okay, so
it
is the
open.
vent clear?
Yes.
And it's not plugged up and causing that to happen?
It's not.
It's kind of like Stump the Band.
Right?
Stump the chump.
Yeah. How many notes will it take to name this tune?
What did you say?
Stump the chump.
Stump the chump. Okay, well, we'll go with that. Yeah.
Too funny.
Now tell me about your co-pilot here this morning.
This is my best friend's grandson. He's back there giving tours as people want to ask questions and stuff. He'll give the information to the best of his knowledge.
So you know all about the car?
Not all about it, but
enough about it.
Yeah.
More than the people coming up to ask questions,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So how old are you?
8.
8.
So what's your favorite part of the car?
I don't know.
The fact that it doesn't have a top on it? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you know, it's not often that an 8-year-old gets to ride in a car that doesn't have a top on it these days.
That way the women can see you better, huh? They can check
you out. Is that right?
Out.
So what grade is an 8-year-old in? 3rd?
2nd.
2nd?
Oh, my gosh.
I had you older than you really are. So that's a compliment, I guess. Do you have any girlfriends?
1.
1? What's her name?
Eva.
Is she here?
No.
You didn't invite her? No? You going to invite her next time?
Does she like cars?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
Well, it's kind of cool in the 2nd grade that you get involved in a car like that, though.
Yeah. So I grew up in Wisconsin. So I have to tell the story. So
don't you?
I do. So instead of car
you grew up?
shows. No, not really. But that's a good question. No. So instead of car shows, they had tractor shows. Okay? Because it's a big farming community in Wisconsin.
Cow shows.
No, well, I wasn't on the cow side. Mine was more in the plow side. So they had steam tractor shows. Massive. Looked like steam locomotives, but with wheels on them.
That'd be pretty cool, though.
It was. And
you talk about a mechanical experience.
Yeah, and my dad worked for Waukesha Motor Company at the time in the research and development department where they blew up things. And he had a friend that worked with him named Ivan Baxter. And Ivan Baxter bought shall we say, you know the trains that you ride on at the zoo, the little mini trains?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Well, this was a steam-powered train. So my dad helped him lay out the track around this great big facility. Took days. Can you imagine? And then helped actually put all the cars on the track and took the kids for a ride around there. So, to me, that was the highlight of my car show days at 8 years old. But it was tons of fun, and I'll never forget it. Absolutely. And going with the neighbors and the friends of my dad's and all that sort of stuff. So, good times. So it makes me reminds me of that.
So do you get to turn a wrench on it every now and then? Get to work on it a little bit with them?
Not really.
Little bits and pieces.
Not really, but I helped my granddad work on some bikes. Like, we got me a mini bike. We're working on the engine right now.
Oh wow!
And my blue bike that I don't have right now because I got a new one. It wouldn't pedal, so we fixed it together.
So you're learning all the mechanical things and
Yeah.
seeing how things work.
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
Well, that's where we all get started, doing exactly what you're doing. So that's fun.
So one day you'll grow up to be like us, just a bunch of old fat
Oh, God, I
gray-haired
hope
guys.
We're hoping bigger and better things for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the way we kind of pass it along, but you have to take it to the next level. Because when you're my age, I'll be dead.
Yeah, we
And
need
you'll
you
have
to
to-
do better than us.
Yeah, and you'll have to carry on the tradition in your own way.
And
right.
clearly you'll have more hair than I do at that age.
Yeah. But at any rate, well, it's very special that your friend's friend, your dad's friend,
Granddad's.
your granddad's friend, of course, your granddad's friend brought you along today. Yeah. So you having a good time? Is this your first car show?
Second, actually.
Second? Yeah. What was the
So-
first one?
We went to a car show where actually he was a judge.
You were
Oh,
the
wow.
judge.
Yeah.
Autorama?
LST.
LST.
Oh, we were up there. We were up there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw us. We
Yeah,
waved
y'all
at
were there.
you. Yeah.
Right,
Did
right.
you? Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
but as a judge, you guys had the easy judge job because you sat in one spot and 4 million cars came driving by.
Right.
Oh
Dude,
my gosh!
I don't know how does that happen? I mean, we walked in the back there in the great big cattle barn.
Right.
I mean, they were door handle to door handle. That's how many vehicles there were.
Yes.
How do you say that one's better than that one?
That is a tough show to judge. There's so many, above average vehicles there that all of them deserve a top 100 as far as I'm concerned, or best of.
If you show
and
up,
and the variation of what you see, from the mini lowriders to the monster high risers.
how many C10s did we look at? 200, 300 of them?
Easily.
I mean, it was unbelievable.
It was.
And the amount of money some of the guys have in these trucks.
Oh my gosh!
So that's where you
unbelievable.
went, was LST?
Yeah.
Well, that's not a little show either. That's kind of a monster-sized show.
Yeah.
And I saw a truck that was even bigger than me.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there was trucks there. You probably could have walked underneath and not touched anything. So what have you seen here that you like?
What do you like the
outside
best?
of the one that you rode in? Because you have to say you like that one the most. Otherwise, you're walking home.
Right.
So what else? What else have you seen here that you've liked?
I like that, or I saw a blue one. I think it was a Bugatti, and it was like running by in the field, just trying to find a spot.
Oh, wow.
A Bugatti.
Cool.
We like Bugattis. They're a couple $1 million, but we like them.
Did you like the Cobra, the little silver open car?
Oh yeah.
That was we talked to him as well. What a cool car that was.
Yeah. And that's he actually. It's a rolling chassis car. You familiar with that guy?
No.
It's is he still here?
No, he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, he left a few minutes ago.
Rolling chassis,
That
Shelby Cobra.
that they build in South Africa.
Oh wow.
It's a super-performance car. They build in South Africa, ship it over here, and then once it gets here, you put your engine and transmission.
Wow.
In it. Pretty interesting
yeah,
car.
and he had a small block in it. That was what 500
plus horsepower.
500 plus horsepower, and which was more than that 2,000-pound car can handle. But how cool is that?
No joke. What an
That
awesome
would
ride.
I would love to get behind the wheel of one of those just one time.
Yeah.
Just to see.
Even if you just rode, because they just make you scream like a 7-year-old girl.
I am that. I am that. I could be his girlfriend. Well, maybe not girlfriend.
That's truly odd.
It is odd. But never mind that. There's a good-looking truck there. Do you like trucks?
Yeah.
So that is a original pattern paint job, but clearly a custom one, black and silver. That's a C10.
Kind of a Dale Earnhardt look.
Yeah, it is.
Square body.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I was watching Bitchin' Rides on TV the other night, and they did this unbelievable truck that they put on a convertible hardtop. They made
I saw that.
Did you see that? But the paint job was so disappointing. The black and the white at the red stripe
Just
on it.
didn't like the color combo.
it didn't serve the wow factor of the truck.
But the engineering for the top was remarkable.
Unbelievable, and the detail to every other aspect of it. But the black and white paint job after it was put on there was disappointing. It just didn't pop. It needed some pop. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
It was just disappointing. I don't know. That's just me, and I'm just saying. But
as opposed to the paint job on the car you rode in on, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's that's called patina.
no, that's not called patina. That's called patina.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. That's called patina.
I don't know. I didn't know exactly what you were looking at. You have to understand. By the way, for those that have just tuned in, we are live today at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In out here at Lupe Tortilla in Katy at 99 in Kingsland Boulevard. It's a once-a-month cruise-in. Speaking of once a month, next month's cruise-in, you may have heard the commercial already, is going to be April the 17th. Mm-hmm. So we'll be here for that, and we hope that you'll make plans. I don't think that there's quite as big a turnout as there normally is here today, and the reason being is because this is the last weekend of
spring break.
Yeah.
So some people are places with
a
their
lot,
kids.
A lot of people, because, there's this pent-up thing where dying to get out of the house. Let's go somewhere,
Well,
do
they
something.
still had a great turnout, though.
Oh, always. There's always a great turn. That's a nice car there. The Boss 302.
I've seen that car around. That car is I think that's a Foose car.
It's really a pretty car.
It's a Chip Foose built car.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. Great paint job.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And it sounds good, and you can hear it. And there's the 62 Chevy 2. I like that. But boy, is that a 1962 Chevy.
Oh, yeah. Just
it's
square body, boxy.
Yeah.
There's nothing swoopy about it.
Yeah, no, there's not.
But it sounded good.
It did. But I think that I can relate to the it's funny because I was really never a bucket tee or like what you have
street rod
until I guess in the past 10 years, and I thought, as little as I drive, that would be a fun car.
Yeah.
With a really showy kind of motor in it. You could put a Lope.
Everybody sees the motor.
Right. A Lope cam, some exposed headers, whether it, however you want to do the headers, whether it be some, side pipes or
But
whatever.
that's one of the cool things about that car, that genre of car, is you're looking at the engine, you're looking at the exhaust system, and everybody does their own thing on it.
Right.
It's not like you can go to J.C. Whitney and buy a set of headers for it.
Careful how you speak about my beloved J.C. Whitney.
But it's everything's a little different on it. The way that they do the front suspension, the way that they do the radiator, how the engine is chromed, how the exhaust system works on it. It's a piece of artwork.
There was an article in one of the magazines that I subscribed to, where the guy put this high-performance late model motor in it, and it was originally carbureted, but put an EFI system in it, but it looked like the carburetor. But he put what he modified as an original old school 50s type air cleaner on top of it.
Got it.
Then painted all of it to look like it came from the factory. The aluminum intake manifold, all of the stuff was all painted orange, Chevy orange, right? And the headers, he had painted, I don't know what they were, flat black or whatever, high temp. But it was the only thing that really gave it away that it had a high-performance motor in it. But everything else was old school. The alternator, nothing was chromed. It was all the original finish on whatever part that was underneath the hood, which I thought was unique and really cool looking, because you just don't see that anymore.
Right.
Open element air cleaner. Well, he had that, but it was inside of this old school big round air cleaner with the rounded top on it.
Wow.
Cut it out on the bottom so it would get more air into it. It was cool. Well done. But that's the kind of thing that we're talking about with your car.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the look of it. A lot of the things you kind of like I say. I'm trying to do the old school heated parts
It's that kind of stuff that makes the cars unique. You'll never run across another one like that. That's the beauty of it. So.
Kind of bought
pieces here and there. Frank came from a guy out of California that was a special builder. Obviously, the nose has been pinched so that the Model A body fits it properly.
Is it a fiberglass body?
No, it's all steel.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Either that or it's a beautifully painted on patina.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all still steel.
Well, I didn't see it, so
yeah, you have to walk by and check it out on your way.
Well, the other cool thing about it is, and again, it's the uniqueness that you can make your own T-bucket. That style of hot rod look is the steel wheels with those aren't what I would call dog dishes, but like the dome, not quite a movie. Steelies, yeah. Cool looking set of wheels.
And the whole idea behind the truck is kind of make it like a traditional ride.
Yeah.
Like the
50s hot rods.
Like the 50s hot rod.
Skinny tires?
Skinny tires. Has the cheater slicks on the back.
Wide whites? No.
No
wide whites.
No wide whites. Just kind of keep it plain and
but you didn't do wire wheels.
No.
And then the stand-up glass, does the glass also fold down if you want to?
It folds out.
Folds out?
But
Oh,
not
out
down.
at the bottom.
Yeah,
okay.
out at the bottom. Yeah.
How cool is that?
So you don't need. You've got its own natural air conditioning.
Own natural air conditioning.
And I have to tell you something. That '54 Chevy pickup truck that I had, it had the cowl vent with the big crank underneath the dashboard that you opened it up and stood up.
Blew all the dirt off the floor.
Yes.
Pretty much that, and it had the
vent wing windows
in it, and even when it was 95 degrees outside, you're going down the road 35, 40 miles an hour, you got your breeze, we're good.
Right.
It wasn't as bad as you think it is. Once you get used to it, you're good. Well, maybe not you.
No, not really.
Anyway, it's great to have you. Thank you so much
Thanks
for stopping
for having
by.
us. Enjoyed
and
it
you
very much.
too, sir. Stop by and see us next time you're in town. Okay?
Will do.
Careful them girlfriends. Okay, just check. All right. Time now for this hour's car review. And it just so happens that I had a recent opportunity to drive the 2021 Kia Telluride. It comes in 4 trim levels, the LX, the S, the EX, and the SX. Reviewed trim level is the SX V6 all-wheel drive. Standard SUV, seats up to 8, depending on the seating configuration you select. All new for 2020. Exterior features include the vertical headlight, where the daytime running lights is kind of like an open rectangle around the vertical headlights. They're orange in color. Makes it very different looking. Tail lights have horizontal appendages at the top of the tailgate. You following me?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you move your hands as you're talking. I'm thinking you're Italian.
Kia style grille, kind of pinched in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
What I liked about it, the distinctive styling with the lighting. I mean,
the lighting really dresses it up.
And it makes it very different. What could use improvement? Nothing. Don't change anything. Interior highlights include the premium-looking design of the interior, easy-to-use controls, wide touchscreen sits atop the dash, roomy second and third row seats by comparison to others in its class, grab handles along the center console give it a sporty appearance. I really do like it. It's very different on the inside as well. It's unique. Cargo trunk room, minimal with the third row up, needless to say. What I liked about the interior, sharp-looking styling design in the seating. Could use improvement. The Prestige interior package is pricey at $2,300, I thought. That's just me.
Yeah, but how much does it upgrade the interior? I think it upgrades the interior significantly.
Well, but you have to think $2,300 is a lot. 3.8-liter V6, 291 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Tow rating is 5,000 pounds, which ain't bad. Miles per gallon, it's rated at 19 city, 24 highway for a combined of 21. I got 25.3 miles per gallon over 452.3 miles, most of that highway miles.
So you're not as lead-footed as Mars is.
I'm not. What I liked about it, just the right amount of power for the 8-speed automatic transmission. What could use improvement? Maybe think about, oh my God, a hybrid for better mileage. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Weldon is in the house. And Danny.
They come as a couple.
Ride and handling was superb in this vehicle. Base trim price is $44,090. Prices tested $49,215. The base model price is $34,120. Look at the base model and see if that doesn't supply your needs. I think that $49,000 on a $34,000 vehicle is a little stretch. The Hyundai Palisade is one of its competitors. It's a cousin. It starts at $33,675. The Honda Pilot for $35,425 is where it starts. And the Toyota Highlander starts at $37,022. And that is the review of the 2021 Kia Telluride.
Nice vehicle.
It is. Did you get a chance to drive it yet?
No, not for a week, but I did have a chance to drive it at one of the events.
Yeah, it is a nice vehicle. And matter of fact, I haven't had a chance to drive it, and it's been out for a year. And this is my first opportunity to drive it. It's impressive. I like Kias and Hyundais. I will tell you that straight up. All right. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcasts, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Amazon, and Podcast Addict. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, April 17th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 17th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, April 17th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy, weather permitting.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, this is the In Wheel Time Car Show, your go-to all things automotive place. Today, coming to you from the monthly Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, Texas. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Mr. Jeffrey Zekin, and Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Do you like the part of, it dates our relationship quite a number of years.
We need to keep that private.
What time did you, what year did you start at KPRC Radio?
88.
88. And I think that it was somewhere around 91 or 2 that
92.
Came into being.
Yes.
Was it 92?
And if you send us a private email to info@inwheeltime.com, Don will explain why is part of David's name.
No, I won't. But I can tell you that
David pays lots of money for us not to tell that.
That's
story.
correct. That's correct.
Yes, it is.
It's an expensive bill.
But thank you for being part of the In Wheel Time family.
I love it.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
You like all the ridicule and all the stuff that comes along with it?
Well, as long as we equally ridicule each other, it's
That's
okay.
Well, we all do that. There's no doubt about that. Oh, my God. Yeah. So Mr. Mars, could you put on a headset and help us out here? What are you doing over there? What is it that you're doing? No, he's not doing anything except causing trouble and problems.
We're working here.
You're not working.
And what Jeff found?
Jeff
actually.
Well, how come
did
Jeff isn't doing this?
Well, I don't know because he keeps telling me I need to. But what we found here is Stephanie Sullivan.
Stephanie,
who is out here in her '66 Mustang.
Conrad still has warrants out. So you may want
Yeah, you got to be careful of Conrad.
Okay. So Stephanie's got the '66 Mustang,
and Kevin Carroll is driving that '63 red Corvette.
Oh, beautiful.
Now wait a minute. Do you two know each other?
Yes.
So wait a minute. We got the Mustang and we got the Corvette.
And we don't get a rash.
Just checking. Just checking because you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, he's got.
He's got a couple other cars that are going the opposite way of the Corvette, though.
Oh, really? And what are those?
His Cobra.
Okay.
Oh my
Shelby
God! So
Cobra
wait a minute.
replica?
You have a Ford and a Chevy,
Yes, sir.
and he's here talking to us about it.
Did you see the Superformance car that was here a few minutes ago?
Yes.
Yeah, we had him on and talked to him. What a wonderful car that was.
So
They're great
how
cars.
do you two know each other?
We're part of the West Enders Car Club out in Fulshire.
The West Enders Car Club.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. So I could become a member of that.
Absolutely.
Actually, I am looking for a car club.
We meet every
Yeah, but
Saturday
they're not
morning.
looking for you, Don.
No, I know they're not looking for me. They want to shoo me away. I can promise you that.
Don has a 2001
Corvette
with no miles on it, basically.
Well, 25,000 miles.
You're more than welcome to bring it out.
God,
We
yeah.
got all different kinds of cars.
Well,
out
see,
there.
that's what I'm kind of looking for. And that's not a put down to any of the Corvette clubs. I was many, many years ago a member of the San Jacinto Corvette Club, and I acquired a lot of friends through that, Bill and Sharon Seitz, who introduced me to John Hovis, the Hemi Hideout. So you know how the car club thing works. You know, you meet this person, meet that person, and, you know, the fingers continue to move out.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of car club I'm looking for that aren't Corvette haters. You know, you either like Corvettes or you hate Corvettes.
There's a lot of Corvettes in there. There's MGs that show up all the time.
Yeah.
There's all different kinds of cars.
Well, that's the fun part about it. I mean,
So is West Enders Car Club, are you guys, what am I trying to think of? On your internet presence, is it more on Facebook or is it more on a website? A little bit of both.
I think Facebook mostly.
Is it?
yeah. Well, that's
Actually,
good.
I think I follow you guys on Facebook. As a matter of fact,
The reason I say
know
that
I
is
do.
because I'm a Sugarlander, so I'm not that far from you.
Mm-hmm. We
And,
have people in and around Fulshire. I'm actually in Richmond.
Okay, good. Because I'm kind of in that part of town.
Mm-hmm.
I love Randy, but he's up in the Woodlands. You know Randy Weldon?
Don't know him.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's the
he's a
guy with the
Mustang. He's
dog that was just here. He is Mr. Mustang.
He is a Mustang guy, very much of a Mustang
and actually was president of the National Mustang Owners Association. I mean,
Mustang
he
Club of
is
America.
Mr. Mustang.
So tell us about your Mustang.
Well, it's a 66, and it's blue.
What the hell kind of answer is that?
It's a little lame.
Well, why do you say that?
Not at
It's
all.
got a stock motor.
It's
It
okay.
doesn't really go very fast.
Didn't you build it? Did you build a motor?
Not that one. We've got another one on the way, but that one's fairly lame. The one that's in it.
Yeah, but it's still a 66 Mustang, so pretty
It
much
looks nice.
anywhere
Is
you
it-
go,
is
you
it a
attract, it
289?
attracts attention.
Yes,
Okay.
currently.
Right. Okay.
My 2001 Corvette is lame compared to a lot of them, most of them. Because, I mean, it's got a stock engine in it, 6-speed manual transmission, black on black. It's nothing special about it. But it's mine, so that makes it special. And that's the way it's supposed to be.
So you have another motor coming for it? What are you going to put in it?
So I let my engine builder have full reign to take control. We don't know what it's going to
Full
be
reign
yet.
I'm just
the
going to
budget?
say, well, that would be scary.
He's a good friend of ours.
Is that full reign as budget too, or?
He's
Just
got
get-
it to where it's reeled in to a certain number, but really, so it's been difficult during COVID. trying to
Has
get
everything,
parts. Every way we take that was planned ends up to a dead end. So we have to turn around, rethink, and go a different direction.
Yeah.
Right now, the spring locks are an issue. Trying to get the correct special spring locks that he specifically wants.
You
he
talking
can't
about
get.
valve spring locks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Spring retainers.
Yes.
Valve retainers.
Yes.
He can't get those. So now he found some other ones that are acceptable, but not as badass
Strong,
as the one that he wanted.
Badass is a good way to put it. I like that.
So
So-
he's building something that he's going to spend a little bit of high RPM on.
Yeah,
and
he's
he
gonna
wants
buzz
something
it
that's
up.
going to stay in place.
Yeah, so this is going to be a buzzed up car. Got it.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Well,
She's
that's what it's
smiling
all
when
about.
she says that. What are you expecting it to be?
Something
it'll
that'll
be-
burn the hides off the back of the car?
It'll be able to do road course.
Okay. And that's what you want it to do.
We're probably not going to do road course very often. If we do,
But every now and then. Down at Motorsports Resort.
there's a couple of other clubs that we go to going north towards Dallas that
Crescent.
we like hanging out with lots of different types of groups. So
She's got something
what
to
the hell
say.
does that
She's
mean?
got something to say that
I was
she's
just
not
going to say,
saying.
do you know what this is all about?
I don't.
So, I'm sorry.
we've got autocross friends, we've got road course friends, we've got drag racing friends.
Uh-huh.
So would you take it and run what was the Grosse Point? Did you hear about that? It's a kind of a street rally where they kind of close the city down and they do like a
Grossbeck. It's a big Grossbeck.
a time almost like a hill climb through the streets and stuff.
Yeah. So any of the mountain ones, I'm not doing. I'm terrified of heights.
Well,
Well,
Grossbeck's up outside of Waco.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, so it's not really
real
mountain.
mountains up there.
Fairly flat.
Kind of hilly,
Yeah.
a little hilly.
But it's the same principle about driving through the town, and it's a timed event.
Yeah.
And they have a
So
lot of
have you
vintage
had
races.
any professional road course instruction?
No, but I have a lot of friends that do road course instruction.
Okay.
And
So you got the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She knows somebody.
Yeah. Well, we
I know
all
a
do,
lot of
but that's not
people.
necessarily a good thing. I know you.
Well, okay, you're right. You got me there.
Hadn't got us anywhere yet.
Exactly.
So tell us about your Corvette.
I bought it 6 months ago.
Oh, wow.
A new owner. Sucker.
Oh, gosh.
Not my first Corvette, but it's my first C2. After my parents autocrossed a 64 coupe back in the 70s, both parents, I just have always loved that generation of Corvette, and it's fun.
Heck yeah.
327 4-speed.
Yes, sir. Oh, I'm all into
300
that.
horsepower?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I haven't pulled the valve covers off yet, or I think that's how you figure that out, but I think it is.
Well, I have to tell you, that was that C2 that he's talking about. That was my first introduction into
Corvettes.
what I wanted. Of course, I was a youngster, literally, and I thought, wow, this is such a neat car. I really want this car. And oddly enough, that became my passion, and I bought a 1977, ordered it from the factory when I had enough money to be able to do that, and drove it for a couple of years. That's all.
Got him a J.C. Whitney catalog
I
and
got
started chroming it up and
Chroming
turned
it up.
doing a show car.
Yeah, and then went and got me a custom paint job on it, and won the trophies at the car shows and that sort of stuff. Terrible mistake, but I learned. I loved doing the show car thing, but I guess now my real passion is being able to drive it, keep it nice, but be able to drive it. Because back then I fixed it up to the point, when you pinstripe the underside of the car, you've gone too far.
Here's your
Now
sign.
you can't drive it anymore.
Yeah.
Nah.
But yours, just sitting here looking at it, I can just imagine driving that around on a day like today.
It's
The
a red one there?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
top's down.
Yep.
The sun's shining. That's got to be.
You know what I
And
love
draws
about
everybody's attention.
I love the hood vents in it.
1 year only.
And it's so unique and so cool. you know, I met the man that designed that car, Zora Arcus Duntoff. I got a picture with him, signed picture, and great guy. And, you know, the one question that I had for him, of course, he was surrounded by tons of people. I said, so tell me what the deal is with the 63 split window coupe. He said, it was not, I did not design it that way. The problem was in 1963, they wanted to go with the design of the car, but the glass factory couldn't make a one-piece glass with the curve in it on the edges. The only way that we could make that look was to split it in half and do half the window this way, half the window that way. And that's the only reason that that car has the split window. Who was to know? This is the man that designed the car. And I thought that was pretty cool. And it was just such a nice, approachable guy. Had a wonderful wife that supported him all the way. And I was fortunate enough to got to meet him. And I was quite blown away. Same car.
So did you buy yours from an individual or an auction?
Classic car dealer.
Okay.
In New Braunfels.
Really?
A&E Classics. They have really quality inventory.
So obviously you looked for this particular car for a while.
Were you just looking for a C2 or a 63 vert?
Well, I prefer the coupes personally, but I was going to trade my Cobra, which my wife liked. It was her favorite car that we have, and she's like, well, you know, and we talked about it for about a year, and so I said, well, how about a convertible, a roadster, you know, similar feel. I mean, the open air, but hey, you can put the top on and get air conditioning. Cobra can't do that.
No.
Duh. Yeah.
So that's where, you know,
so your compromise car was a 63 convertible Corvette.
Compromise car,
nice
yes,
compromise.
Sir. Yeah, no lie.
First world problems.
Yeah.
But it's also, at least based on what I can see, it's just stock. Not that it's just stock, but it's a stock-looking vehicle.
Stock-looking. It does have vintage air, and it's not the original color. It was originally blue on blue.
Okay.
In about a 15-year-old restoration.
Is that not a Corvette red, though?
I believe it is.
I think
yes.
because if I'm not mistaken, I believe that looks like an
75 Victory Red.
75.
Number 75.
Oh, okay. For that year.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
How the hell would you know that?
Beautiful car.
75.
Beautiful car. So how many miles?
Red.
How much do you drive it?
As often as
Well,
I
you
can.
know,
do you really?
I like to drive
I know
them.
a guy that's got a 70 model Super Bee that's painted Victory Red.
Really?
And same reason. He just likes the color of it. And that's
Okay.
a beautiful color.
So you take it out. You've had it out to some of the other shows as well?
Yes,
Always attracts attention. Everybody comes over and looks at it.
it does. It's and I got my feelings hurt when we pulled in because my friend John brought his C8.
The blue one next
blue
to
with
you?
red interior.
Yeah.
And the
That has
flock of people came right to that car, but mine got all left out.
It's blue with red interior.
That's right. You're here and he's not.
I didn't realize the blue one had red interior. What a
It's stunning.
interesting combination.
Yes.
Yeah. Not a combination that I would have, but I'm not him. So there's that.
But again, that's, you know, people, if they have an opportunity to order one kind of that one-off car, now that they do such a good job of keeping records of production numbers, you know, someday somebody's going to say that's a one of three, you know, because I remember.
Well, no. One of three.
Well, yeah, because that color combination and Corvettes, that's something people look for.
That car is petty blue.
Yeah, with a red interior.
With a red interior.
And it may have been a
mistake.
No, not a mistake, but you actually had to get approval through the central production office to do that color combination on it, which in the Corvette world makes it more valuable.
I can't
as
imagine
time moves
that.
on. Oh no,
They wouldn't take a special order Corvette right out the
they did.
hit.
Oh, absolutely, they would. They did, because I remember when I was working at for the Bowling Green assembly plant, and when the C5s came out, they had two different people ordered what was the yellow they did with a red interior. No, it wasn't banana. Get out of here.
but they wanted a red interior in it, and that had to go through CPO, Central Production Office approval.
Why would they care?
Because it wasn't the normal color combination in the sales guide.
Yeah, they had some standard things you had to pick between these standards. But, Viper, in the last couple of years that they went into production, they did a program to where you could pick any combination you want, and they had some really weird stuff. Well, they were just trying to use up all the inventory because they knew they were going out of production.
Plus, people want to have that one-of-one car. And in the Corvette world, that one of 5 or 6 cars is that makes it unique.
Well, I think Viper, even the last year, they got it down to where you were one of one, because if whatever you picked,
they wouldn't
duplicate it.
I'm sorry. If I'm spending $80,000 on a brand new car, it ain't going to be blue with a red interior.
Well, that's your choice.
I know. I'm just saying.
But I don't know that they do a custom pink for you.
They might.
With some blue high heels?
No, well,
now I'm in. Now you're talking my kind of thing.
Goes with your red pumps.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Just saying.
We've lost control.
No, we haven't. Yeah, we're.
And you still want to join their car club?
Well, no. The question is, do they still want to let
I just
him
got to
join?
say, once they find out that,
well,
I'm not in.
As long as you pay the money, you're okay.
Yeah. Well, there's none of that.
So, how big is West Enders Car Club? How many members do you guys have?
It's not real big. I'd say it's.
Are you the
50
president?
members. No, sir.
Well, what are you?
A member.
Just
a
members.
member.
Just members.
So, do you recruit other members?
Yes. I invite car guys.
Would
out.
you invite me?
Probably not.
You don't.
Now.
You don't really
you can
know
honestly
about
say
me.
No.
Yeah, you can say yeah now, and then when you turn away, you just kind of uncross your fingers.
It would be very provisional, and I may leave. I may leave a number out of my phone number.
Yeah, in the men's restroom wall.
Instead of 10 digits, he's going to give you 9 digits for his phone number. And then on West Enders Car Club, do you guys have regular meets that you go to, or do you just go to? Do you have regular meetings that you guys attend?
I hate meetings.
We do.
Oh God.
We have. We meet at Shipley's every Saturday.
Now you're talking. Yeah.
Aside from there, we'll go ahead and do meetings and stuff.
Go to meets and stuff. Yeah. Well, that's
talk about different events coming up.
And the strange people that you meet on the events, like this car show.
Most of
Yeah. It'll definitely be brought up.
And
I'm sure.
But there's in Houston, there's so many meets you can go to. Even if all you want to do is hang out on the west side of town, there's so many meets you can go to. There's always something going on somewhere, whether it's here. And I understand Coffee and Cars is coming back as well. So kind of being one of the bigger ones around. But this is one of our favorites, not just because we're here, but because it's generally draws a real eclectic group of cars.
Like them.
Well, like that, but as well as, you've walked through here and seen everything from the rat rods to the 2000 or, 21 Corvettes. It's a pretty diverse group of vehicles that'll show up here. And that's always so much fun for us because we get a chance to talk to different people about their cars and, they get to tell us their stories, because a lot, most of these people, they've got unique stories about their cars as well.
Yeah.
You okay?
I am. I'm sorry. I'm just checking
we're gonna cut your Bloody Marys off. That's what we're gonna do.
No, you're just gonna feed me some more.
Put some food in you too.
No, I ain't gonna do that.
So how long has West Enders been an active club?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Don't know?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
so how long? How long have you been members? Oh, last week.
No.
About 2 years for me.
Okay.
2 years for
so
you.
They've been around a while.
And you?
Yeah.
So we've been going probably for about a year and a half or so.
Okay. And what drew you was?
One of the West Enders members saw me at a restaurant with one of our cars and just invited us to come out.
That's cool.
Very nice. Well, it would be a little bit difficult for me to meet you guys on a Saturday morning at a Shipley's Donuts because we do this on a regular basis every Saturday
morning
from 8 to 11. So
she's over there going, darn.
Yeah. Now she's going,
and
thank
then
you, God.
I had to come here to meet you.
I was there first before I came here.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
at
you
the
were.
Shipley's? Then you guys cruised over here.
How fun. Which Shipley's?
And 1463 and 1093.
Okay. Not that far from here.
No.
Yeah. Very good. So, am I going to see you guys again?
Sure.
Where?
Here.
Here?
Not if they see you first.
Because they're going to go as fast as they can the other way. But I would like to find out about y'all's club because, surely you have more events other than Saturday morning events. Clearly, it's an issue for me because I can't go. I'm here.
But
So you'll have to come to us. Maybe you can bring the rest of the club over here.
West
That'd be
Enders
fun.
Car Club on Facebook is probably the easiest way to get a hold of them.
Yes.
I kind of posted this
Event.
a little late.
Yeah.
Otherwise, more would have shown up.
Okay. Well, good.
Third Saturday of the month, weather permitting.
We're here.
We're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in Wheel Time on Facebook.
And
we
we've got-
post up various events through the city.
And we've got
as
lots
well.
of events coming up here in the next month or so if I'm allowed on the property. And we need more Jeff. There's that. Well, thank you guys for stopping by. Really appreciate it. And we will see each other again.
Thanks for having
Maybe
us.
in jail, but whatever the case.
Congratulations on your car. I
Whatever
can't
that
wait
may
to
be.
hear about your new motor once you get some horsepower in that thing.
Yeah, whenever it shows up. Whenever we could get parts.
Whenever the pandemic ends, that may be forever.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, time now for This Week in Auto History. That would be your cue.
Well,
I know I didn't.
Well, I'm waiting on Jeffrey's got some video to run for me.
Oh, okay.
Stand by.
All right. I'm sorry. Did I throw you guys off? I
No,
mean,
not at all.
it's that time to do that.
So this week in auto history, Rolls-Royce in 1906 was officially registered as an automobile company. They built their first car in 1904. Henry Royce built it and founded the company. He was an electrical and mechanical engineer, and then he joined with Charles Rolls to create Rolls-Royce and built, and if Jeffrey's got the video, and built stunningly beautiful cars over history. And even back then, what were considered the most luxurious cars in the world. And their cars were primarily built in Great Britain, but actually there was a Rolls-Royce production facility in Massachusetts for about 20 years.
Wow.
Which I thought was an interesting little fact. So here's one of them. That's actually at Pebble Beach. But what a beautiful car they are. General Motors acquired 80% in 1929. General Motors acquired 80% of German auto manufacturer Adam Opel for just under $26 million. And then in 2000,
I did not know that there was a Mr. Opel.
Well, I don't know.
I knew a woman by the name of Opel, but I didn't know that there
And I'm
was.
sure George
Opel
Skelton
B.
knew her too.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna comment.
George definitely knew Opel.
But GM bought Opel for $26 million in 1929, as they were just as Durant was just trying to acquire everything he could. He bought Chevy, Buick, Olds, Oakland, all of the Cadillac, and everything was integrated. The first. We skipped ahead a little bit. So in 1949, the first car to carry the Porsche name was shown in the Geneva, Switzerland Auto Show. And what we see here in 1952, Mercedes introduced the 300 SL to the press, and the gull wing car with a really rounded body, really unique engine inside of it, an inline six-cylinder. Here's the original Porsche that was shown at the Geneva Auto Show. The very first Ferdinand Porsche, and that was after he got out of jail for working for Adolf Hitler back when. In 1961, Jaguar introduced the XKE, or also known as...
I didn't know Ferdinand worked for Adolf.
Yep. But the XKE was first introduced in 1961 this week at the Geneva Auto Show.
That was a hot, hot car.
Enzo Ferrari said that was the most beautiful car ever built. And that's quite a compliment.
Man, back in the day, that was the bomb.
Oh, yeah. And then in 1968, this week, the construction started on the north tunnel of the Eisenhower Johnson tunnel on Interstate 70 in Colorado.
Eisenhower Johnson?
Yep. That was the combination name. And that's the tunnel that goes through the mountains west of Denver, Colorado, as you're going on over to ski country. It's 11,000 foot altitude is the tunnel, and it was the world's highest vehicular tunnel, and it was totally completed in 1979. And then in 1969, this week, Walt Disney Studios introduced Herbie the Love Bug. The movie had come out.
Herbie the Love Bug.
Herbie the Love Bug.
You know, that was a little bit past my time.
I got to watch it with the grandkids and stuff,
Yeah.
and it was pretty
Well,
good.
what was the name of the evil race car driver?
It had Buddy Hackett in it.
Yeah, that they were always battling with.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I
know
didn't watch
you
it
do.
that close.
Thorndike.
Thorndike.
I was about to say that.
Is that Thorndike there?
No,
that's
it
not
moved
Thorndike.
ahead.
But also this week was when Ford introduced the
Explorer.
The Explorer. I was going to say Bronco.
Spit it out.
But when they first introduced the Explorer, which kind of started again the SUV craze, even though Jeep had been out with the Cherokee before that.
Well, wait a minute. I thought that Chevy had that little. Well, I bought one
Blazer.
of the Chevy Blazer.
Yeah, but I believe the Ford was out before it.
Oh, okay. No, never mind.
Well, the 4-door, not the 2-door.
Well, I had the 2-door Blazer because I thought the 2-door
I had
was
one of those.
cool.
So that is this week in automotive history.
All right. Well, good, because it's time to go, and we're going to do a commercial, and we'll be right back.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, April 17th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, April 17th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, April 17th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy, weather permitting.
Well, leave it to me to be a minute late, but I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. Well, that's it for this episode of In Wheel Time. When you're on Facebook, please give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk. You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features. Are you still doing that?
Yeah.
Along with all things automotive all week long.
You missed a good one. I did a Lancia Scorpion.
The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available on Pandora, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. Special thanks to all of our guests today. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. Our Video Technical Director, Sales and Marketing Man is Jeffrey Zekin. This week's In Wheel Time Car Show is produced and directed by Mike the Loose Cannon. For booking agent and podcast man Mike Out of This World Mars and his royalty King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong saying so long for now. And we hope you'll join us on the next live show next Saturday back in Studio A, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Take care of yourself. We'll see you then.